Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Don't worry, Minnesota Licensing Board, I'm still suspended. You haven't forgotten, and I don't think you will. But we're gonna fix you soon. With me, speaking of fixing things, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You try to fix my problems and I don't listen to you.
That's true. I'm not good at it, though. I try.
So with me today is my definitely not my friend, as I learned from Twitter, Megan Fox. She is not my friend, but she is here.
Definitely
so
not.
What's up, Megan?
You got me streaming on a Saturday night. So many people are going to be so jealous.
I have the ticket to make people jealous. And it is streaming with Megan on Saturday.
On Saturday. I say no to everyone except you.
Well, I am honored to have you. We needed to get back to it.
Like soon, because otherwise we'll forget. But hey, tonight you get to do the recap, and that way it won't take me 40 minutes. Because now you know what's going on in this case.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
I'm not doing it again. You guys, chat's just gonna have to keep up.
I'll do it in a minute. We'll get there. I'm just I'm getting all my chat windows and everything organized real quick. We're gonna be going through the rest of this hearing because we didn't finish it, which is your fault. You talked too much, I think.
It was my fault.
Yeah, I didn't even talk last time.
I thought I was being nice and quiet.
I didn't say a word, and you're sitting there just yakking the whole time.
Yes, it was definitely my fault. Must try harder not to speak on this commentary channel. Is this behind the scenes of Casino? Y'all look dapper. Well, I did get a preview of what Nick was wearing, so I went for the blue.
Hold on, I'm some people have asked about something in chat, and I'm trying to get confirmation before I say anything. Okay, people were asking about Yellow Flash. I just checked in with him. His stream on YouTube got taken down for showing guns because it was the Secret Service. He must have been covering the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
YouTube is getting crazy with this. Yeah. I played a video of the guy who got arrested for murder with no hands and no arms and no legs, and he shot a guy. And I played that.
Just kidding, PT. Just kidding. Sorry.
And they took me down for the same thing. But all the news channels can play it.
Yeah, they have a special exemption.
Why do they get an exemption? It's awful.
Because
he's not going to be able to stream for 24 hours now.
Because news channels are, they have partnerships with YouTube. This happened several years ago. Remember when Crowder and the Daily Wire were obliterating mainstream news, not just beating them in views, but beating them in views by like a factor of 50 on everything that they posted. Do you remember that? There's a specific day. I remember this because there was an announcement that YouTube was changing its news distribution formula, and the trend lines for the two entities, either like mainstream news and independent news, literally switched places. And so like all of a sudden Daily Wire content and Ben Shapiro was getting 1/10 the views of mainstream media outlets. And it was just like, it was a literal formula switch. And it was at that moment where you got stuff like if you broadcast anything from the Olympics, right? Your stream gets taken down.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And you can appeal it. You can appeal it, follow all of the rules of the law on the DMCA law on appealing things and do everything just right. And it's in the law. If you appeal it correctly, they must put your stream back up unless you get sued and the paperwork's provided. So good job. Good job, Black. You're back. You're back.
I don't know what. Jesus, my camera. I gotta get a new one.
So it was those partnerships manifested at that time, and YouTube started treating mainstream media news as a special entity. That's why, like, NBC will win the copyright claim. You can do everything right, and YouTube is legally required to restore your video, and they won't do it. They just won't. And you'll lose every fucking claim on the Olympics every time. It's wild. But yeah, that all happened in one day, and that was when the YouTube mainstream basically slow motion takeover started, and they're still trying to do it, but I think they're getting less and less success. Hopefully just independent people keep supporting independent networks or independent creation, because that's the only way to fight it. Like we just have to overpower the corporate decision making. But yeah, that's why they get priority, like on everything. Also, if you noticed, organizations like Court TV and Law and Crime now has a Law and Crime network with a Law and Crime trial channel. And notice how it looks different than everyone else's on YouTube's homepage. They develop special mass media relationships and they get customizability. They get, they get preferential treatment, preferential distribution. It's amazing.
Well, and I'm starting to think that YouTube is doing what they're doing, hitting all these creators who are not AI, but hitting them as inauthentic content so they can get rid of all of that, rid of all of us, and just go with their corporate people.
Yeah, which is it's so funny because it's like shown over and over and over again that if you let the market decide, that independent creators are smarter than corporations and create better, more desirable content that goes along with trends, and that corporate entities get stuck basically in corporate siloism, and they hold on to trends too long. They are not ahead of the markets. And so what they'll do is they'll actually try and hold the market back. No, you like our formula. This is how it should be. This is why corporate news has looked the same. While everything else around entertainment and infotainment has changed, corporate news has looked the same for so long, until recently. Notice they started doing like panel discussions more often. They started incorporating things like you can email in questions and stuff to news shows. They don't do it as well as like a YouTube chat or whatever, but they're trying to like grab these little things, and they're like, oh, okay, this is what people like, but they don't get it. But it's, it's because their decision making is risk averse. Whereas, and it's not democratized, but everything being
I also think it has to do with those big corporations being terrified of YouTube creators that are killing them.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. But they're risk averse. They can't figure it out, and they can't change and copy them, and they can't innovate. They don't, because it's too
and they
much
don't
risk.
Want the competition. That's why they're always trying to take out, writing hit pieces on people like Tug or you or anybody covering court cases in an unusual way that the corporate media just can't. They don't want that. They don't want 100,000 people watching your live court coverage and nobody listening to their reporters, their idiot reporters who sit in the courtroom for 1 hour and write an article that's completely false. First of all, that's what we found out during all of this.
Johnny Depp was crazy. Rittenhouse too. They were insane to read the media narrative and then watch the trial. And it's like, none of that happened. Like, what trial were they even watching?
Yeah, they don't though. And we learned that they go in there for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. They don't watch an 8-hour day of a trial, and they go in and then they write whatever shit that they first comes out of their fingers on the keyboard. And they got busted. They got busted by a bunch of streamers just watching trials with people. And then you read in the news what they said about it. And it's like, what? That didn't happen.
Yeah.
None of it is real.
It's batty. All of it is real. Dun, dun, dun. No, so just to wrap that up, what I was talking about earlier, I got off topic. Yellow Flash is still up on Rumble. Not that you should go there. You should stay here. But, like if you want to check out the rest of his show later, you could go check it out on Rumble. He's pretty confident he'll get things get back to streaming, but it's the middle of the night on a Saturday, so probably have him down tomorrow, maybe even part of Monday. But he'll get things back up, and it's a dumb part of the AI. You can't have guns on a live stream, which means if you're live streaming and clearly watching like a clip of something and someone walks by with a gun, you can get clipped by or you can get tagged by the AI.
Yeah.
And
it's ridiculous.
And you're just down. So hasn't happened to me though. I'm a consummate professional.
Well, you know what is happening? Remember in the Rittenhouse trial when that idiot Bingers pointed the gun at the jury?
Mm-hmm.
That was a moment. Well, there was another trial recently where the prosecutor was waving a gun around. And
I remember this.
Runkle had to take it down off the stream and just have the audio playing. He's like, well, we can't play this because the prosecutor is waving a gun around and I'm going to get a hit for it.
As a consummate professional, I had the gun on screen and I didn't get taken down because... Frankly,
who the hell knows why? I don't know why they
look. I sucked a lot of robot dick up at YouTube. Okay, their AIs love me.
You're gonna have to teach me how to do that.
I don't know. You just have to distract them with more offensive stuff that while it's happening, like say racial slurs. Like, oh, there's a gun on screen. Let me tell you about the blacks. No. Oh my gosh. So speaking of that, real quick before we get started, I was at Lady Rackets and I went to a charity event tonight. We like to go out to the charity events when we can. This one was for our private school that some of our kids attend. Well, all of them attend at least part-time, little bits of little classes that we can't do at home. But a couple of them attend full-time now. And we've been going to this charity event forever. But it was nice. We got to go, and there was an auction and everything to support the school, raise money. And then there was a guy. He was the entertainment.
Oh, no. Don't tell. What if he's
Megan,
watching?
I was in hell. I found hell, and it was in the lunchroom of a Christian school.
Don't tell. What if he's watching? What if his family member is watching?
It's okay. Like,
it was well.
I think what he was doing would be fine in another context. Like,
oh boy.
Okay. Like, so if he was like on a missionary and he was going out to like talk about the big JC, right? Mm-hmm. I could see his content working in some scenarios.
Okay.
Because missionary content should be studied because it's like, I don't know if like people are just backwards in other cultures. I think so. But like what they find entertaining and engaging and respond to is way different than me. Like I'm jaded and horrible. But so he was basically doing one act dramatic tellings of various miracles and stories of Jesus. Not one act, but one man.
One man.
So he's like first person perspective.
Yikes.
Like he's Jesus. He's like, and I'm at the dinner at Cana and there's so many people here and it's just sweaty and like everybody's around and they're out of wine. And it's like, oh my God, stop. Like, stop, please, stop doing this. He did like 8 of these things. It was so long. And I was like, please, just don't like, I get it.
Why not have a live band? What?
I don't know. Why not have a dead band? It wouldn't matter.
A nice trio, you know. Don't some of your kids play the violin? Couldn't you just have
all my kids play violin?
Oh,
and
you
piano.
should have had the Ricada kids up there doing some kind of music.
Anything. I was like, I'm sitting there with Lady Ragus. I'm like, this is supposed to be over. Like the whole event, like 30 minutes ago. He's still going. He's got 2 more stories.
Oh,
That's
no.
30 more minutes. What am I going to do?
I really hate it when you get stuck in a situation like that and you can't leave.
It was brutal. It was so brutal. But it's like, you know, if he's talking to like some people who don't know Jesus or whatever, and English is a second language, like I get, like maybe that would be cool for them. It's like, oh, I've never thought of Jesus this way. It's like, me either.
It kind of reminds me of when I would be forced to watch at the church we grew up in, we were forced to watch these terrifying reenactments of the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Those are always great.
Which are always really bad.
When they bring like a bunch of teenagers
the rapture.
in. Yeah, the teenagers in, they're like rapture and they're like, hey, Got some news for you teenage girls. Guess what happens to you if you're still around? Nothing but rape. It's like, oh my God, stop talking. What are you doing? How do you get away with this?
I don't know. But it was like it was like horror stories for children, you know? It was like, okay, now go home and sleep well. Meanwhile, we just told you about the plagues of
Here's our visual depiction of hell. Yes. Where your sisters and brothers and all your friends are going, and you are too, probably.
The giant insects that come to rip your heads off and stuff. And like you can
suffering
choose,
locusts.
You can choose the guillotine or
do the best.
The rivers of blood.
Rivers of blood doesn't sound so bad. Like, so, I mean, it's gooey and messy.
Well, it doesn't sound good. Certainly not to a
but it sounds better than a lake of fire.
I was always terrified in church. It was just awful.
Yeah, they do. They have a weird marketing plan.
They used to make me watch 3 of those a year almost. God.
Dude, I don't know. That whole thing is the media that has handled the rapture the best is Rapture Palooza, which is a movie with it's Justin Long and Anna Kendrick, I think, and Daryl from The Office, the black guy.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Something Craig. Last name's Craig, I think. Or
I don't know, but I knew who he was.
What's the black guy from The Office's name? Like the actor's name, guys. Like the warehouse manager guy. He's fucking hilarious. I can't ever remember his real name because I just remember his office name. Anyway, he's Satan. And the rapture happens, and like Justin Long and Anna Faris. I think it's Anna Faris. Or maybe it's the other one. Whatever. Craig Robinson. I was right. It was a Craig. Anyway, they're there. Like, they didn't make it. Right? They didn't make so they're stuck on Earth. And it's like there's like the suffering locusts that you're talking about. They're these fucking locusts that are huge, and they just scream at them. They're like, suffer! But like all the dead,
exactly like Sunday school.
All the dead rise, right? And they like I guess in the rapture, like the dead come out of the graves and like do something for a while, but it doesn't really say what happens after in Revelation. So it's like then they all kind of hung around and incorporated into reality with the rest of the people and like started selling weed and stuff. It's the wildest movie. It's so insane. It's pretty funny though. People should watch it. It's very offensive. Speaking of very offensive, let's talk about Laura Owens. I'm babbling about
very
other stuff.
Offensive.
Laura Owens is skinny, very, very thin.
Yeah, that's the most important thing about her.
Look, I'm just saying, I have seen those like skeletons that hang up that they have in classrooms. Yeah. I have seen those that would look at her and be like, damn, girl, put some meat on you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And turns out Laura Owens' diet consists, as far as I know, all the reporting on it, the only thing I'm aware that Laura Owens has ever eaten is a bunch of cum. Like a bunch of semen. That's what.
Also burritos and Domino's pizza.
That's been reported?
Yeah.
When? In 1981?
Well, apparently it was back when she was like 136 pounds. She was eating burritos every day.
I would have happily told her she was
I have a video of her at that weight, actually, and of her fake crying on camera. It's funny. You want to see it?
I don't want the illusion destroyed. So anyway, I say the semen thing is a joke, but it's because of the context of what happened. There's this guy who's really big and handsome, and he's so cool. His name is Clayton Eckerd. He's a former NFL player, or maybe he's a former college football player who didn't make it to the NFL. No skills. And I'm not sure, but he was going to be the contestant he was the contestant on The Bachelor, but he was unable to find love after that fiasco for various reasons that are his own. But anyway, so Laura Owens finds him, and they have a date of sorts, which mostly just consists of 2 blowjobs and a nap. And in the process of it, she ingests some of his holy man juice, and she says, she calls him up and is like, I'm pregnant with twins. And
11
he's like that,
days afterwards.
11 days
Amazing.
later. So
Amazing.
he's like, well, that's weird because I don't remember. I think I took biology once, and I didn't do the thing that was necessary. But he learned that she doesn't have lymph nodes. She has ovaries actually tucked up here, and like a tilapia, she carries her eggs around in her mouth, and was inseminated orally and became pregnant that way.
Yes.
So, because that's the least interesting story on the planet, some people wanted to talk about it. And the one person who's important talking about it is this guy, Rob, who has a YouTube channel. Rob looks like an accountant, and not like an accountant with like a heart of gold or a heart of brass. Like nothing. He just looks like an accountant. Like he looks like a normal guy who goes to work and stuff. But apparently what he also does is he makes a playlist on YouTube and finds all the videos about Laura Owens and puts them in a playlist. And he also has his own videos that he makes about Laura Owens because he's fascinated with this woman. And he wants to talk about her and her actions, particularly the fact that she has Clayton Echard isn't her first. Can you call it a victim if he got a blowjob out of it? Like, I don't.
Yeah, you can if you then stalk that guy and take out restraining orders and,
I know guys who would
life.
gladly trade being stalked and getting restraining orders for a little bit of fellatio. I know guys who would do it. They'd be like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, we were thinking we should introduce Laura to Kurt. I think he'd put up with it. Although she's still too old, I guess.
Yeah, but she can get pregnant. We know that.
She can. With twins. Easily.
So she's done this to multiple men before. And this Laura Owens person is very newsworthy and very interesting. That's undeniable.
It's now being covered by Law and Crime. It's made national news, international news, the Daily Mail.
But at the time, well, no, actually, at the time of this restraining order hearing, it had been covered by all these places. So
yes,
this guy,
she caught 14 felonies. So
yeah, I've been chasing one. I haven't caught the whole thing has become very newsworthy. Her story got out, and mostly because Clayton has some clout and fame and money and is able to push back against her. And so finally, like, her reign of blowjob induced terror is coming to an end. And this Rob guy was cataloging it and offering commentary, as many places do.
Yes.
Laura Owens has another skill and talent, and that is filing for restraining orders. Mm-hmm. And so she filed for a restraining order against him. This is the hearing. We're a little over halfway through it.
Took us 5 hours to get halfway through a 1 hour and 50-minute video.
That's right. That's right.
Now, part of the reason talented.
Part of the reason it took so long to get through the video, though, is because Rob's lawyer is crammed into an embarrassing suit, and he has a hair braid, the kind you would pull during a one-night stand with a biker chick. Like, he has nothing happening upstairs that anybody's interested in, either mentally, cognitively, or
and he stands in front of the judge with his hands literally cupped around his balls. It's not a good look. It does not scream confidence. It screams, please don't kick me in the balls, judge.
Yeah. And and we've also seen that in the scope of his representation, he doesn't appear to have any balls either, because he's afraid to object to anything. His arguments are timid, weak. His questioning is horrible. And he's all around just an embarrassment. And he is probably the main reason Rob lost a case that is obviously should be protected First Amendment speech. Now, there are people out there, I have seen them in the chat today, and also I telepathically communicated with some that said that Rob is an awful human being, that he's terrible, and that his opinions are vile and stuff like that. Which I agree with everything anyone says to me. And so with that, Rob is bad. But here's the thing. The First Amendment doesn't care if you're good or bad. Free speech doesn't give a shit about that. And neither should the court. You get to say offensive stuff. In fact, offensive stuff is the only thing worth protecting, because no one needs to protect like happy, fun stuff. No one needs me to protect me saying, oh, Megan, hi, your hair looks lovely tonight. Like nobody cares about that. Right.
Right.
But everybody needs to or wants to be protected from mean things that people say because they're all still in grade school. Mm-hmm. And some people just
it's
never
like
get away
that
from
idiot Blake Lively, who compares what internet commentators are saying about her to children being cyberbullied in school. Like, these two things are not the same, Blake. You are an adult. You're a
cyberbullying isn't about the words. I was having to. Well, I wasn't having to. I took the opportunity to explain to my eldest today, while we were driving to this charity event. I was explaining to him that the First Amendment protects the words of your speech always. What it doesn't protect is the method by which, or the action associated with the words. Words can become actions. We know this. If you call someone up over and over and over and keep threatening to murder them, like that's either a harassment or even an assault, depending on the state you're in. It's the action, though. It's the fact that you are continually interrupting their life and intending to cause them distress to the point of actual harm. That's the non-protected activity. The words, you can say those same words. Like I can call Megan and tell her that I'm going to murder her. She knows I'm joking. She knows that she probably just said.
He texts me that kind of stuff all the time. It's really weird.
It's strange. And like directions to my house and like aerial photos. No, but it's like you can say the same words in two different contexts. And it's all about what those words are intended to do. It's the action. And that's the thing here with Rob. Rob doesn't seem to have directed anything towards Laura Owens at all. I know people like I said, one of his jokes was really bad. It wasn't funny, and that was a problem. But like people have criticized what he said, and what he said doesn't matter under the law. It's did he do something with it? And in this case, I haven't seen anything that Laura Owens has said where he's directed any activity or done anything to her. In fact, most of the stuff is done away from her. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of
the only thing he did in front of her, within speaking distance of her, was to say hello.
Right. And I think she said she didn't even, or no, and that was at the courthouse, right?
That was at the courthouse. Yeah.
Yes. So he has only been in the same place as her, I think, like twice, right? Like once.
Multiple times in court hearings, maybe 4 or 5 times.
I didn't know how many court hearings there are.
There's been a lot. It's like status hearings, stuff like that.
So once outside of a courtroom. And she didn't know until later that he was there. So it's not like he directed a bunch of activity at her at this event.
The only thing she says happened is that he said hello to her outside the courtroom. Right. And held the door or something. Or she held the door.
He shouldn't have done that. Don't hold the door for this vile trollop. I don't know. Speaking of vile, we do have a couple super tips to play, and I need to put the super tip link in the chat. But if you go to supertip.gg, you can send in audio, AI audio supported links. But Megan, I need you to not like say anything for a second because of the way this is set up. So I'm sorry, but you're muted. God, it feels good every time.
Hey, Nick, it's Uncle Rico, still trying to stop the owner of the 3rd largest home improvement chain before he kills again.
Yeah, that's an interesting case, and good luck, brother. Right now, you're facing some nasty stuff.
Nick, I'm the cummy succubus demon. Give me your cum.
If I accidentally shoot cum in my mouth, then I'll have to confront my homosexuality. I think it's the demon making me want cum. PayPal, Rumble Rants, Streamlabs.
He said this.
Let's make the goal.
Give me all the beach life I can handle. John's dead.
Okay, Megan's unmuted. There's no more Semitic takes. He said that. That was a thing that he said.
I am turning my camera off for any cum jokes. That's just how it goes.
That wasn't a joke. He said it. He said he was possessed by a demon.
I don't want to talk about him.
And then he got incubi and succubi wrong. Like he described them incorrectly. You know about
what
those, right?
What a crime. I do. Yes, I understand.
Okay, without we won't get into this. I just want to know
Succubi
something.
are the female, incubi are the male.
And so they steal from a
Yes,
sleeping.
I know
Okay, but
all about it.
I don't want to get into it. I just want to ask you one question.
Oh no.
Is it
Don't
not
drag
the
me
most
into this.
I just want to know isn't it the most naked attempt to justify like a pregnant village girl? Right?
Yes.
Like, I wasn't me. It was
For
a
sure.
sex demon.
It was a
at
demon.
night. And that was a bishop. Like that was a bishop saying that he's like,
Yeah,
no
for
way. Sure. You know me. I'm only into males. Anyway, like the whole like sex demon thing. I'm like, nobody saw through
For
this?
sure, that was a definitely just to explain unexplained pregnancies.
Why do all these village kids look like you? I don't know.
Sex demons. It's
like
obvious.
Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Lol Wilkes says, so glad to see you both streaming together. Thank you. Even though she's not my friend.
Not at all.
Happy to have her. Fletcher Boy says, latent gay
I hate
fee.
this guy.
Parsimeon, it's all the fluid jokes. Parsimeon says, oh, go ahead. Were you saying something else?
No, I was just laughing.
I'm sorry. I don't know how my
I'm
friends,
being
non-friends
quiet.
Parsimeon says, people need to know they're cringe and be mocked for it. It makes society better.
True.
Who's on your radar, buddy? Are you talking about Rob? Because he is a little cringe. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think you would agree.
It's a little cringe, but I mean, and listen, if you don't like it, you don't listen to it. But you know who else was kind of cringe was Howard Stern. The stuff that Howard Stern said and got away with. He was so outrageous. There is nothing that Rob has said that Howard Stern hasn't done way worse. And so no one is getting restraining orders against him. There's actually stories about people, or at least one person, who allegedly offed themselves after Howard Stern got through with them. So, and he's not in jail for that. So I don't understand how you can get a no contact order against someone who never contacted you. All he did was use his free speech.
Howard Stern used to bring women in, put them on a sex toy, and ask them questions to have them answer while orgasming. Like,
yeah.
It's unreal to think, like, now I think he would be thrown off. Like, he would be, but he's like this feature, like this permanent feature of radio. So he'll have to die before he'll go away. But it's like crazy, because it's like, how would you get away with this now? Like, I don't even know what you would have to do to get away with it. Speaking of getting away with it. Oh, shit.
You didn't hear
Hold on.
that.
I know. I'm fixing it. 1 second. All right, here we go. I was hasty.
I am going to catch you from Ed Gein is a threat. From a paraplegic, it's comedy.
Absolutely. Okay, and you're unmuted and repaired now.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick Sterrell. Nice to see you, brother. SFAKASF says, Megan, how are you awake? Did you even get any sleep yesterday?
It's actually a funny story. I did not get sleep. So I was up all night and had to get hangry on the bus. I did not sleep. And then he got on the bus and I went back to bed and I slept for 2 hours. And then I was up for the rest of the day. And then last night, Mr. Fox and I went out. We went to a brew pub, had a couple of beers, and then we got home. And I was like, yeah, let's watch a movie. That's a good idea. He put on Lethal Weapon. I haven't seen that in a long time. And within 10 minutes, we also had we did like a whiskey tasting, so that's probably why. But within 10 minutes, I was passed out on the couch, and I did not wake up. I slept on the couch last night. He said he couldn't wake me up. And I was like, well, the crash was going to come at some point. It was going to happen. And then I slept most of today, just recovering, because that's how old I am. But now I'm up again, so it's fine.
I would do that a lot when I would stream really, really late, because after your stream, like, you're still a little amped up or whatever, and it's like I couldn't go just lay down in bed. Like, I could have, but my brain was like, oh, you can't just go lay down in bed. So I go sit on my couch, check my like messages, and and I'd maybe put on the TV for a second, and I'd be asleep in like 10 minutes. I'd be done, just crashed out on the couch.
Yep.
But like I thought I wasn't ready to sleep yet. It was good times.
Yeah, I thought I'd be able to watch a movie, but apparently 10 minutes and I'm out.
So real quick, and then we'll jump into this hearing. Complete Random says, listen, there was nothing wrong with Howard Stern bringing women on to ride the Sibian. That was S-tier radio. You leave that dirty Jew bastard alone. Look, I agree. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's just, it surprises
but it's just amazing
me.
that he got away with everything. And the idea that now you can't tell a bad sexual joke without getting a judge
Getting some flack,
to slap you with something is, it doesn't have to be a good joke. A lot of Howard Stern's jokes weren't good. They were gross. A lot of what he does is gross. They call them shock jocks for a reason. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. That's the thing. Is like, change the channel. You don't have to listen to Rob's channel.
Correct. Miss Elephant says that is the lamest plug for shilling for money, Ricada Law. And then she says, give Nick money. He likes it. She's 100% right. Like, I love money and you can give it to me. I was going to say one of the things we really love on this channel, and by we, I mean all of you, you're here. And so you're adopted into it, is we love memberships. We love memberships. We love members. We love to see a field of just tall, proud members. The longer members, the better. We love members who are very long, like 24 months, 25 months or whatever. You got to start now to get that. But get your memberships, gift your memberships, and then watch the members only show. I'll be doing the members only show tomorrow. And those are the shows where we really have a lot of fun. Just make fun of people who deserve it. Usually me, if I'm being honest. But okay, here we go. But yeah, get your memberships and come join us for some of those, because they're a fucking blast. The membership shows, and remember what it's like to have fun again and have fun on the internet, and not everything has to be so damn serious and dire. Every community I'm in, like, or have been in for years, and like I kind of took a little break, you know, but all these communities coming back to see where they are now, everybody's like wrapping up in lawsuits and like everything anyone does is like, oh, they're going to go to prison, and like it's like, guys, calm down. This is the internet. This is jokes. Like it's supposed to be fucking silly. Like
I've been facing lawsuits for the last 3 years, like people threatening me with, to sue me for God knows what. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I did get sued. That idiot Lips sued me.
Dude, I got sued, and that lawsuit took 2 years. Montegraph.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that anybody can sue you for shit. And it doesn't have to be a real cause of action.
Minnesota
to drag
has an
you through it.
now.
But it'll still take 2 years. It'll still take 2 years to get heard and to have motions read, to even get the judge to look at stuff. The shit that's going on in Florida is unbelievable. I sued that idiot for malicious prosecution, and it still hasn't even been for a hearing. It's been months.
Yeah. Well, civil suits, I mean, it's all just up to the court and how they do it, and it's crazy. But yeah, I've been enmeshed in legal action for a long time. One of them was my fault. One of them was a little like I kind of deserved a criminal charge, and I got it, and everything. We're working on resolving all that, over the next several years. But that was me. But the rest of it, like that, the Montegraph suit was utter bullshit, and it crumbled the moment they had to produce discovery. The moment they had to produce discovery, we had some funny questions. Like, when was the first time you were called a pedophile? And how often have you been called a pedophile over the past decade? How many videos are there of you being called a pedophile? It was like, produce all these. And what do you know about it? And it's shockingly, the moment we asked, it was literally the day my attorney sent our interrogatory demand with all of the fun questions. That day they folded, and he said, I'm out of money. I can't pursue it any longer. It's like, oh, yeah, it was just getting fun. But yeah, people abuse the legal system in all sorts of ways. And I really don't think the legal system is prepared for the internet. It's, the legal system in the US is always a decade or two behind reality when it comes to technology and everything. And they're just not ready for how this goes. James 35124 says, what's the average length? You're a 3-month member.
Stream?
No, 3-month member. I'm just saying a little longer, bud. You're on the low end. You're on the low end. There are things you can do for this though. DJ Laser's YT is member for 9 months, 9 long member. That's pretty good. That's a good size. So back to this hearing. I
like Sweet Gal says, Nick, you look gay in a good way.
Aw, thanks, Ellie. How you doing? That's exactly what I thought when I bought these clothes. I was like, this is pretty gay. I love it. All right. So we're back in court. I described a while back like what was going on. This is Rob's lawyer in the top right here. This guy who looks like he's running a D&D campaign.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's up here.
Lord.
And this is Laura Owens. This is not actually a sculpture made out of toothpicks. This is Laura Owens up here. And she's reading off of something. So we'll see. And this is Rob down here. Remember? Accountant. This guy did your taxes yesterday.
For sure.
The judge is not paying attention. She's probably playing Facebook games. And the 4 people in the gallery are there. I don't have anything.
Well, that's her mom. Right behind her attorney. I mean, Rob's attorney.
This guy?
Yeah. That's her mother,
lady.
Jan. Yeah. And
who's this lady?
I do not know. And I think the other person in the courtroom is somebody who was reporting for the Reddit or the Instagram or something.
So all these 3 people are obviously stalkers of both of them because they showed up for a public court hearing.
Right.
And that's the absurdity of this. And the same thing, again, not happening to me, but in the same case that I'm under, a guy is being accused of showing up to a public court hearing unannounced. That's the he showed up unannounced which was crazy because he announced it like a million times. But this idea, it's like, well, if you show up to a court hearing, you're stalking. It's like, no, you aren't.
All
this is a
court
public
hearings are
thing.
public. Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into it.
Quite a few people who make statements on YouTube and other social media stating their opinion that you're guilty of the crimes that you're charged with, right?
Correct.
And
you are.
You didn't seek an injunction against any of them, did you?
I did not.
You just picked on.
Stupid questioning, by the way. Very simple answers from the defendant. She hasn't answered yet. But if he says, well, why didn't you seek an injunction against them, but you did against him? Well, he made me feel threatened or he made me feel whatever. Never, ever leave this question open to the defendant to say, actually, because I was scared of him and not the other people. Like, that's a dumb question. You don't need to know why. Like, you could say, did you file or you didn't file anything against other people?
Well, she's lying. She did. She filed against Dave Neal. She left. But
he's not going to call her out on it.
No, because he doesn't even know. I'm sure he doesn't even know that. She just lied under oath. You didn't file any injunctions against them, did you? Yeah, actually, she did against Dave Neal, and it was thrown out.
Yeah, but she didn't obtain one. So I don't know how he asked the question. So she could weasel her way around it.
I think he said file.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
On Mr. Andreev, because he happens to be here in Phoenix, right?
Absolutely not. It was because he tried to get people to impersonate me and made very vulgar sexualized comments about me.
Never, ever let them answer that question. She's on cross. He can lead her. All he has to say is, you didn't do this. You got one against, you're going for one against him, and you didn't against any of the other people who've said all sorts of stuff. Isn't that true? And she'd have to say yes. And then don't let her talk about anything else. You don't ask why on cross. You tell them why.
That other people have not made. They've criticized my case, and they have every right to criticize me in my case. They don't have the right to take it to the level that he's taken it to.
They actually do have the right to do that.
It's illegal for someone to make vulgar comments about you?
No, absolutely not.
But isn't that what you just said? You got the injunction against him because he made vulgar comments about
No, I said I got it because of the impersonation and the sexualized comments he made about me being raped.
Good job, bud. Bang up job on this cross. You're doing great.
So
somehow the dumb twig is outwitting you. Understand? This is your job.
It's so bad.
and then trying to monitor my status. Nobody else has actually gone to these events.
That's not true. False.
Yeah, it's false.
That's
statement.
not true. There were at least 5 or 6 people at that horse riding event that she claims that he's the only one that went. My source was there, and my source was not Rob. There were.
Was your source a horse?
No,
okay.
It was a guy named Scott with a big camera, and he was there, and he heard she was going to be there, and he ran down there to get pictures for me in video. He's the one who took the video I showed you the other night. But there were at least 5 or 6 other people there. So she's lying again. This is a lie. It's so frustrating.
She's good at the lying thing. But again, this is entirely on his attorney. Why is he asking her? Why is he allowing her to explain this? She doesn't need to explain it. It doesn't matter. First of all, it doesn't matter if she's taken out 1,000 restraining orders or 0. Like ultimately, there's no difference. This restraining order is this restraining order. And as shitty as some people can be, if they take out 100 frivolous restraining orders, but one is authentic and genuine because that doesn't give anybody a license to actually terrorize them. So if there's an authentic one, it's valid, even if they took out a bunch of inauthentic ones. So this is a bad line of questioning. It's a trap for a lot of attorneys because it's like, oh, I'll show the court that they could have done it against other people. The judge already knows this. Like, the judge isn't stupid. The judge knows that she could have taken out restraining orders and did or didn't. It doesn't really matter. You could try and get it on the record, but ultimately the question is this one valid? Not as all the other ones valid. Kimbo says he should have hired a female attorney. And I generally agree. When a man is up against a woman in court, a lot of times it's good to have a female attorney, especially if she's being...
That's why Clayton's his attorney's team, when it was time for her cross, it was Deandra who did the cross. And Deandra Arena, she is a powerhouse, man. She was great. Because you don't want that look to be, you don't want a man battering a woman on the stand. Right. It doesn't matter how bad the woman is. That's why, you get in Amber Heard had to face Camille. I mean,
exactly. And Camille
she was
fierce.
Also fierce. And Deandra Arena was, so good. I would love to show you that hearing. You would love Deandra. God, she's great and beautiful.
I like her already.
Yeah, you'd love her.
But it's there is a way to have a male attorney do this against a female. Like, for example, in my case, the restraining order taken out against me is by a giant woman, and I have a male attorney, so we'll see how that goes. But the way to do it is...
I didn't see that one coming. That was good. That was good.
The way to do it, though, is you have to be cordial and professional, and you have to be so much smarter than them. Like, not in an insulting way. You have to be better prepared and smarter, and your plan has to be perfect. And you can execute that cross-examination without making them look or sound afraid. But you have to do it like a car salesman. You have to build a rapport with them. You have to get a collaborative effort out of them. And you have to really walk them and handhold them through their dismantling because they have to come willingly into it. If you give them even a moment where you look like the bully, you're going to lose. And that's why a lot of really good family law attorneys that advocate for men are women. Because of these same issues.
Tried to put themselves on my radar, I guess I could say, like he has. And he's tried to make it like, oh, I have been near her and she's, given blowjobs to these guys. That's taking it to another level that other people aren't.
What does that have to do with
anything? The case underlying your criminal case is the paternity.
I don't know. We've talked about her giving blowjobs a lot.
Correct.
And
she's famously given blowjobs.
Right. And she talks
thing.
about it. And her mother told the Daily Mail you should see the interview her mother gave to the Daily Mail. Her mother went into it blow by blow, forgive the pun. But her mother is telling the whole world about Laura's blowjob habits. So it's like, you can't say, you guys can talk about it, but we can't.
Look, sometimes it happens where you end up getting famously associated with a sexual act. It happens to the best of us. It really does. But like, once that happens, people get to talk about it. Like, there's just nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about that, because people have a right to talk about what's on their mind and what's interesting to them. And I'm sorry, but like a bunch of people are interested in, blowjobs involving Clayton Echard. He's like a handsome celebrity. So there's a bunch of people on both sides of the aisle who are going to like the gay and not gay men are going to be interested in that story. Women too, I guess. And so it's going to get talked about and everything. This isn't a big deal. And again, I don't know why he's going down this. She's made it very clear that it's not about the vulgar comments. It's not about the sexualization. Her narrative here is actually pretty decent. I don't think he actually did anything wrong with the impersonation thing, but it's a good narrative to hold on to, and it doesn't involve his speech at all. It's just he organized people to impersonate me, to brackets harass me, even though that's not what it was. But that's how she's interpreted it. And, at least you can say someone seeking a harassment restraining order, their feelings about how they're being treated may not matter legally so much, but they do help set a narrative. And for her, lying as she is, and believe me, I understand, it's a better narrative than what Rob's got right now. And his lawyer isn't helping. He's just letting her keep saying it over and over. I was actually
when
scared of
Deandra
these
crossed her,
impersonations.
when Deandra crossed her, she did not allow her to say anything but yes or no. And if she tried, she would say, I want that stricken. Instruct her to answer yes or no.
Yep.
And the judge kept having to remind her, hey, listen, you can explain on redirect, but just answer the question that you're being asked. And
Yes.
Deandra was relentless. It was so good. It was so good. She nailed her.
You have to control the record, not just the narrative, because the record is what can be talked about during closing arguments. And so all that extraneous talk that follows the yes or the no, just, Your Honor, we need that stricken. This is a yes or no question. Let's keep it to the yes or no answers, please. And all of that needs to be taken out, because any of that stuff that stays around gets to be incorporated into a closing argument. So if you let them narrate, he's just letting her go off about all this stuff. And one, he's asking open-ended questions. Why did you do this? Terrible choice.
He looks like an egg.
He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He looks like
He does
he looks like he's going up to like the principal to ask him like, to change the policy on wearing shoes or whatever. Like, who knows? He's so nervous. He's closed
so
up.
nervous. Look how, he's like hunched into himself, and like this he's holding himself like he needs comfort or something. Is this the first time he's ever been in a trial before? It feels like it.
Yeah. I mean, all around it's just surprising. Like, I don't get what his issue is here.
He doesn't have a strategy here. I don't know. I do feel like sometimes lawyers, especially in harassment cases and orders of protection, I've heard this from more than one attorney. They consider it white trash law, and they don't care about it, and they just want to make a deal or have you stipulate to it, and they just say, just stay away from this person. It's no big deal. Like, just get it over with. I think they don't fight very hard because of that. But this guy, there's something else here going on with him. And to me, it reads like he doesn't have the experience in a courtroom.
Yeah, I think that could be certainly part of it. Him not having the experience, and it's just I don't know. The whole thing's baffling to me. Why he's like this? Because he's purportedly does have the experience, right? Like,
his law firm does.
His law firm does.
His law firm has a good reputation for being a free speech law firm. And I confirmed that with some lawyers I know locally who told me, they have a good reputation. But I don't know why they sent this guy. Was he the best they had?
I mean,
no clue.
Who knows? Maybe Rob didn't pay the bill.
I wouldn't pay the bill.
We'll send the bad one.
I would not pay the bill. This is not worth anything.
Okay, here we go.
In that case, there was testimony that you gave Mr. Eckert 2 blowjobs the night that you claimed to have been impregnated, correct?
Correct.
And the judge in
totally
that case
shameless, too.
made factual findings.
Shameless.
Well, I mean, what's she supposed to do?
I know, but she's shameless about it. It doesn't bother her at all. Like, she wants to say that it does, but look at her. Listen to her. Correct. Yeah, I did. So what? Like, she's shameless.
I'm not gonna shame any woman for an act of fellatio or whatever. I think it's weird. This is a side thing, but I think it's weird when guys are like, "Oh, you're a cocksucking whore." It's like, stop! You're not helping the mission, sir. I don't think anybody should be shamed for performing very normative sexual acts with another person in a consensual way, like to me, right? Like, and I think that
that's not the thing she needs to feel shame over.
No, she needs to be ashamed over all of the other
stuff. But it's still funny.
Yeah, but I still don't know what she's supposed to do in court, because it's like, you gave him 2 blowjobs, right? Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know where he's going with it. Probably just to say this is the thing that happened, and why are you surprised people are making jokes about it? But
yeah.
Still,
let's see where his brilliant strategy is. It's like he's building the yellow brick road right through fantasy land.
That it was not possible that doing 2 blowjobs could result in a pregnancy, right?
I'm going to object to that as being way outside the scope, and it's also not an accurate statement of what the judge found. You can get judicial.
It's not an accurate statement. Oh,
the judge found that you could get pregnant by a blowjob?
That's it. I want to know if a court found
she didn't. She found that she found that it was not credible that she was pregnant at all. She found that there was no credibility in Laura Owens' statements or testimony, and that she fabricated things, and she should be turned over to the county prosecutor for prosecution. And then she was prosecuted. So no, this snake is just telling stories.
Wow. Snake, really, Megan?
He's very snaky. I wrote an entire snake chorus for him.
Here we go.
Notice of what the judge found. I think the court has the ruling from the prior case. I have no objection to you taking judicial notice of that, but what I just heard is not an accurate reflection of what the judge found.
Your Honor, please do take judicial notice of that ruling, and this is something
where was it? It was provided in attached to what?
I don't believe it's been.
Okay, so for the chat, if you don't know, judicial notice is when there is an official thing that is recorded and proven. So a lot of times you're talking about like a judicial decision or determination, the resolution of a case, the final disposition of a case. You can ask, or even a document that's filed and recognized in another case. You can ask the court to take judicial notice. You say, we recognize that this thing has happened and it's true. And then the court adopts that reality. So if you have a court taking judicial notice of a lawsuit or a case, they take notice of all of it, all of the testimony, everything in there that is resolved ultimately in the final disposition of the case. That is now part of this record. It's incorporated into it. And so, you do this when you have someone who's like maybe pled guilty to a crime. You would have the court take judicial notice of that pleading so that you don't have to prove that they did the thing in this trial. It just saves a bunch of time where it's already been done. It's about judicial economy. And real quick, whoever, fear and loading, you know what? I told you guys and said many times, I'm not commenting on Ralph and Scarlett other than whatever they're up to. I hope they're healthy and safe. And that's about it. I really don't give a shit about the drama associated with it. So if you're looking for something about that, I'm not following it. I'm not watching it, and I'm not going to talk about it. You won't get it here. Go find somewhere that will, and my blessings to you.
Provided to you yet, Your Honor.
Oh, you're asking I could judicial notice from the court's own records, you mean?
Correct. I can provide a copy of it, Your Honor, if that would be convenient.
So my
Such a brown
understanding
noser.
is, and this is from the pleadings, right? That's what I know. So there's, I'm sure more, right? But so from the pleadings, which I did my best to review, but one of them was like this, and I have many, many cases, and so I have done my best to be prepared for today. It was rushed.
in other
I'm
words,
sure
I
for both
didn't
of you
read
as
it.
well because of the short time frame. So my understanding, and you let me know if there's more that's important, but my understanding is there was some paternity or type action or a lawsuit filed regarding
is
an allegation of a pregnancy against
brutal.
a gentleman who took part in The Bachelor. That case, the end result, I don't know precisely what it was, but the end result was that the judicial officer found Miss Owens not to be credible, so that
Right.
case did not resolve in her favor. And the result of that was that she has current charges pending. I saw the charging document, I believe, was attached to.
I'm gonna ban you right now, just J Hip.
Well, he's a per se lawyer, so I think he means he wants to weigh in.
No, he's not allowed.
Yeah, he's
As
a
Megan
dumbass.
knows, I don't let non-lawyers on the stream, including myself. Okay, here we go. Michael Stetson, Nick, you taking a look at Kurt's latest bad take? Oh, the who yeah, he said oh, the SPLC did nothing wrong.
What?
That's Kurt's latest video.
Seriously?
I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know
Wow.
what's exactly in there. But yes, his
He
latest
always has
take
bad
is
takes.
that the SPLC did something. We'll probably look at that on the members only show this weekend. But back to here. And Digital Boon, you're right. I am okay if you fondle my like button. Even if I'm asleep, you can still do that.
Oh, God.
What one of you filed, and I saw that. So I'm not sure what exactly you're wanting me to take judicial notice of. So I think the idea that there was a finding that she was not credible in that proceeding, I think is a fair assumption that I have made. But is there something other than that, or something specific to oral sex that you think is important?
Certainly, Your Honor, and that is in the minute entry ruling on the paternity case, which again I can present to Your Honor.
But what's the importance of it?
The importance of it is it provides context for my clients talking about blowjobs.
Oh, okay. Did you want to respond?
Only to add that I was trial counsel in the case that we're talking about, so
Oh, okay.
I'm very familiar with the facts of that case. I don't disagree, and we can just stipulate that case.
Okay.
That case involved an allegation of oral sex involving this guy on The Bachelor,
Okay.
and I agree that it provides some context to what we're talking about. So
Okay.
if that's what we're doing, I'll stipulate to those facts.
Okay.
Beyond that, what counsel was trying to describe, and I'm not saying this was intentional, but it's a lot of papers and facts. But what he described the judge found in the prior case was not accurate. So
Okay.
I was trying to help you by
Yes,
saying
it
you could
was.
just look at the minute entry from that case
Right.
if it was important. I
Right.
don't think it is, because
Okay.
we're talking about an undisputed fact that there was
Okay.
oral sex in the other thing.
Yeah.
So that's why it's
Okay.
being brought up.
So is that, are you?
Clayton Eckhart putting it down. He's not even there. He's getting recognized. He cleaned up on that blowjob. Well, she cleaned up on that blowjob.
Do you agree with that? That the importance of it is the relevance of any comments that your client may have made is related to that other case, and that oral sex was an issue in that case?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so could we, as a stipulation to what we just discussed, is that acceptable, just to, in the interest of time?
That's perfectly acceptable. Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I think the stipulation covers it then, and it sounds like that's a whole bunch of stuff, and so if we've limited it to the specific.
Now, I thought they did have some like traditional sexual intercourse. He just didn't, he just didn't he didn't finish that way. Is that right? Am I wrong on that?
They didn't have any kind of intercourse.
Okay, see, I misunderstood.
She accused him later of raping her.
Right.
So she's in multiple emails. She admits that there were only blowjobs, right? And stuff she's written down, including when she wrote to the company of Plan B and asked them if she should take one, even though she only gave 2 blowjobs.
This is all I did.
She admitted multiple times, including to Clayton and then to other people, third parties, that there were only 2 blowjobs. And then later she accused him of putting it in.
Yeah, there was something you said in the last stream that made me think that they had done some stuff before, like in the interim. And so my misunderstanding, apologies. I took off the thing because there's something I wanted to do earlier, and I want to show the chat so that you'll be shamed into it. This is that camera I was talking about with, but I don't have any settings adjusted, but it's a, it's a good camera. Although I need to get the other thing going. It's a profile mode. Oh my God, my nose. So huge. But yeah, so you should get it. It's a better camera than what you
I know.
have.
I need a better camera. I will. I'll get a better camera.
It's got a bunch of like other stuff too that it can do for you.
That's why my face looks so fuzzy. It's the
like
camera.
Your dishes, and it can walk your dog. All right. Anyway, back to
that would be nice.
Back to this
issue. Then I think we're on track. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
The judge in that case made factual findings, correct?
Correct.
The judge's factual findings included that you provided false testimony, correct?
Correct.
The judge's findings, the judge found that you admitted that you had altered medical test results, an ultrasound and a sonogram, correct?
Again, Your Honor, this is going so far afield, and also there's a minute entry that
why is it far afield? This is about
she's a perjurer. It's about her credibility.
Right. And so you're normally not allowed to just go after someone's character in the rules of evidence. You don't get to just go after someone's character like this normally, except you can go after their character for truthfulness, especially if you have a ruling that they lied. If you can prove the non-truth, because it goes directly to questions of credibility. This is more important when you have a jury than when you have a judge, typically, because judges don't believe in other people's assessments of credibility. Their own will be the correct one. And
but wouldn't it be important to this judge that another judge found her uncredible?
No, like I'm being terrible to judges here because they all deserve it. But judges believe that they are superhuman in their ability to assess what's happening in their courtroom. And I mean this to the fullest and most offensive extent possible. But, a judge will listen to inadmissible evidence and say that they have the superpower to exclude it, from their brains when they make their decisions because they know. But, of course, they're influenced just like every other human being on the planet. But, this judge is probably going to ignore this credibility stuff, even though she should be paying attention. This is really important because it goes to the core issue. This is a routine liar, a recognized liar, and she might be lying again about some of the stuff that's going on. But this lawyer's got to capitalize on that. Let's see what his response is to the objection.
Explains exactly what the court found. I have no objection to you taking judicial notice, although the judicial notice rule says that Your Honor can look at a piece of paper and say, oh, here's what it says. That does not establish the facts. Well, the facts are not, you can't get judicial notice beyond the document itself.
I can make a fine. I can take judicial notice of that judicial officer's findings. That doesn't mean I am aware of like evidence that was presented.
Exactly.
But I think your goal is
he telling the judge what she can do?
I think you tell me if I'm wrong.
To be fair,
why is she telling him? You tell me if I'm wrong. Somehow he has gotten this judge to defer to his expertise.
Here's why. This is actually kind of valid. All right. Judges judge on all sorts of things, on all sorts of rules, on all sorts of issues. And while they may be polished up on some of them at the time of a hearing or whatever, something might come up that they don't know. And because these lawyers have plans of how they're going to handle things, they might be more well-researched on the subject than a judge is at any given moment. And so sometimes I wouldn't be too look too far into the tell me if I'm wrong thing. I think it's more just like a, like, well, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the way I understand it. But you always have the opportunity to inform the judge about how something is under the law, because the judge might not have, something could have changed. Supreme Court ruling could have come down or whatever that literally changes the law. Otherwise, it's also an invitation to say, well, this is how I understand it though, Judge. And maybe your understanding is more appealing to them when they listen to it. And it matters here. I think that was kind of a pretty normal exchange between them. Lawyers do tell judges what they can do under the rules. And sometimes it is good to remind them. Although I'm not getting that feel here. It's like, that's when you've got a judge who's been ruling against you. And you're like, you know what, Judge, like you do have an obligation to do this or this or this, or we are entitled to this. Sometimes that would come up, and feels a little bit more collegial, and it's kind of strange. But this whole objection is strange because you just said you can take judicial notice of it. Well, he can also ask her about it. Judicial notice doesn't preclude cross-examination. And I don't know how any of this is outside the scope. This is all well within the scope of what's going on, because all of these comments are about vulgar sex acts. That's what she complained about. Even though she's now saying that that's not the source of her thing. That's what she talked about. He took it to a different level. He's talking about vulgar things. Well, I'm sorry, but you are engaged in what's considered vulgar activity, and that's going to be the discussion. When earlier, that was one of the questions. Well, a lot of his videos contain statements of a sexual nature about you. Well, the newsworthy part of her is about sex.
She also is the first one who went to the media about it, so her complaining about people in the media talking about it is real choice, because she went to the Sun. She did this. She threatened Clayton that she was going to go public, and then she did. And she asked for media attention, and she got it. She just doesn't like how it's going.
Yeah. And who would? If it's not going well.
It's not going her way, and she didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That she was found not to be credible. If there was a ruling that there was.
Just Incredible says, and judicial notice means anything that the judge knows to be true. Taking judicial notice goes well beyond any documents presented to the court. Correct. If they choose to take judicial notice of it, or if that's discretionary, or if it's under a rule, like certain documents, you're entitled to judicial notice on them. And then certain situations, it'll be discretionary. And if the court takes notice of it, yes, it can go beyond documents presented to the court. Absolutely.
Evidence that she attempted to present in court, whether it was physical evidence or testimony that the court found was not credible or was, at a minimum misleading. I think you're attacking her credibility here, correct? So I understand that. So I think, and I think she's also agreed or admitted. I don't, when I say agreed or admitted, I mean, I don't want to get too far into the weeds, right? About, what you say she did versus what she admits that she did, or right. I think the idea that she was found not to be credible is what you're looking for here. And I think I take judicial notice that she was found to not be credible.
Hear what I just said happening though? I take judicial notice that she was found not to be credible. Does that judge sounds like she's buying the judicial notice? Or that she's not credible? No, she's going to make her own determination of credibility, because judges are superhuman in their own minds. All judges look at themselves like they're their own 6-year-old assessing their dad. Like, man, I'm fucking cool. Like, they all believe they're so goddamn smart. It drives me nuts because half of them are retarded. Half of them are mentally handicapped.
Yeah, the judge is not very smart, I don't think, because she's not giving it the weight it deserves. This woman is not just not credible. She is a serial perjurer.
That's right, just Incredible. Now go fail the bar and prove me wrong.
Did something to the court that was at a minimum, misleading, altered, whatever the case may be. It's something I will consider with respect to her credibility, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I will consider with respect to her credibility. And it sounds like she's going to give it almost no weight.
Almost no weight. Yeah.
And here's the problem. because people are differently credible. Like, this is a real issue. People are differently credible in different contexts. They really are. Some people are more willing to lie in one situation versus another. And she might believe that she was certainly willing to lie in this other thing, but now she's genuinely scared because this judge could have any sort of predisposed view of a woman seeking a protection order against a man who is alleged to be stalking her or treating her poorly. And if she has a maybe she was stalked or harassed or has a bad ex or was beaten or something. And if she carries that automatic assumption that maybe men are dangerous to women or whatever, then that credibility assessment in a different context becomes complete. Like, I'll take it into consideration, but it's completely useless here because she might be a #BelieveAllWomen supporter. We don't know.
Going back to the horse show in Scottsdale last October, several days before that horse show was scheduled to begin, you had a hearing scheduled in California in another injunction against harassment case, correct?
Correct.
And a few days before that hearing, you filed a declaration with the court in California saying that you were severely ill and that traveling to California for the hearing would be life-threatening, correct?
Correct.
And then a few days later, you participated in a horse show, correct?
I think you're missing the fact that I was hospitalized overnight and had surgery.
Prove it.
And then a few days later, you participated in a horse show.
Actually, no, no, this is entirely incorrect. You're talking about a horse show in October. I was hospitalized in November and I was at a medical, I'm sorry, I'm getting the dates confused.
Yeah, you're getting the dates confused
Can
already.
you just guide me
You
to
were
where
at a
it was?
horse
'Cause
show.
The hearings in California were in October and November.
I'm having a little trouble following too, so maybe I could ask some specific dates just so I can understand.
So you had a hearing in a injunction against harassment case in California that was scheduled for October 22nd, correct?
A domestic violence restraining order, and the hearing was October. It was October 20. Yeah, October 20th, I believe.
No.
So sometime around October 20th and October 22nd, right?
Correct. And I had an appointment with a specialized GI doctor that I had to go to and I could not miss.
But before that October 20th or 22nd hearing in California, a few days before that hearing, you submitted a declaration to that court saying that you had been vomiting blood and that if you were required to travel to California for that hearing, it would threaten your life, right?
Correct. And my hemoglobin levels were almost at transfusion level at that time.
And that was at most 5 days before the horse show in Scottsdale?
When I filed that, I don't know the dates. It was 5 days, 7 days before I competed in a local
No, it was
horse
not.
show for a total of 4 minutes.
No, it was not 5 days. It was like 2 days. I want to say 2 days after. It was definitely not 5 days. And the setup for the horse show happened on the same day as the hearing. And when she called in on the Zoom, she was wearing her riding turtleneck, the white riding turtleneck and the black vest that she was wearing on the horse. And she was in her car when she was on the Zoom. She was literally in the parking lot of the horse show calling into the court to say, I'm in the hospital and I'm so sick and I'm bleeding out of my whatever. And
I'm bleeding. Whoa, shit. I forgot to mute that. I'm bleeding rectally and I can't come into court. It'll be messy. I promise.
Yep. So no, I do not believe her. Like that she would have had to have been there to get her horse set up and everything days, but the same day she was supposed to be in court. So no, I don't believe it was like the very next day after court. She was competing. She competed 2 days in a row, I think Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. It's, this woman's ability to just go in there and lie to judges and the judge's inability to deal with it is just beyond me. Like, why don't they you wonder this. It's like, why don't they ever punish these people?
But also this is Rob's attorney's fault. He should have had those dates. It's on the record what date she was at the horse show. And it is on the record what date she was supposed to be in court.
Yeah. No, it's amazing how unprepared this guy is in every single scenario. And Drex is unused, Baldo. You've sent some Rumble rants in. I'm going to get to all of them. Thank you for your patience.
And you won first place, didn't you?
Correct.
So
days after the hearing. This was not on the day of the hearing or anything.
So you had this recovery from a life-threatening condition that required surgery. And
2 weeks later, it required surgery. 2 weeks later, I was sick from August of 2025.
Look at Jingris. Look at him. Go
really
back.
Now you can
Do
see
you
how
see him?
small I am.
Yeah.
I have been extremely ill.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't want her to
you weren't
say
so
that.
ill that you couldn't compete in a horse show, right?
You can see how I look in that. I competed 10 minutes from my house for 4 minutes. I didn't miss the hearing for that. I didn't miss the hearing for that. And you know, I did not miss the hearing for that. But I competed days later, and so does your client.
And that's what I was asking you, Ms. Owens. But the fact remains, doesn't it, that you told the court in California you had a life-threatening condition.
Which I did, and I still do.
And a few days later, you were...
Wait, why don't you take out a restraining order against your condition? If it's life-threatening, very dangerous. I don't know. Sleeping psychopathy. Who the fuck is the guy with the ponytail braid? This is Rob's lawyer. I don't even want to know his name. His name is depressing to me.
I don't know his name either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to know his name either. He doesn't deserve any attention.
This nose cam's making me laugh. I'm sorry.
Closer. Look up Nick's nose.
I'm just a child. I'm sorry.
You're competing in a horse show.
Correct.
Correct.
I don't see how that has to do with whether or not your client made statements that he clearly made.
Okay. You can't. You just answer the.
Yeah, objection, Your Honor. She's arguing with me, and that's not fair.
Look at David holding his head. David's holding his head. He doesn't like any of this right now.
Yeah.
And he's trying to tell her to stop.
Yes. First of all, like, stop narrating. Second of all, like, yes or no sometimes is your friend, even if you're on cross. Often it is. Really, like, often on cross, the best thing to do is just grit your teeth and get through cross. Answer the questions truthfully, yes or no. And like you mentioned earlier, on redirect, if your lawyer has any presence of mind, on redirect, they can address what's going on. What do we got? Winston Smith says, also when a judge says, tell me if I'm wrong, she's trying to understand whatever moronic point you're trying to make. And look, like, there are times where a judge is wrong, and when you do it professionally and show them, Your Honor, actually most of the time you're right. However, there are limited circumstances where the rule acts a little differently, and this is one of them, and here's the case that supports it. And they'll say, you know what, I haven't encountered that before, or I do remember encountering that in a different case. Thank you for reminding me. And then you move on. It's not that big of a deal. Judges, I give them a lot of shit, but when a lot of judges are really hard to like offend or anything like that, and they're very practical. They know that the job that they have, the state code that they're in, or the federal judge, the whatchamacallit, the federal regulation code, if you printed it out, is like 89,000 pages. Like, nobody knows all this stuff. And so helping them out and making court collaborative is a really good way to get really good results. Sometimes you got to be combative and you got to be willing to do it. This guy needs, look at him. This guy is waiting at a bakery. Like, his croissants aren't done on time. That's how he looks right now. Well, he's got his fucking arm chicken winged out, his head cocked to the side, and he is just waiting on Tiffany to bring the fucking baked goods because he's 15 minutes late for his dentist appointment now. Like, oh my God, this guy is not an advocate. He's a Karen, and it's awful to watch. Ugh. Just incredible. Gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. Just incredible. It's very beautiful of you to share your member with the chat like that. And especially since they didn't ask.
questions, and then your attorney can follow up after.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Let's keep this moving though, because
Yeah.
we're well outside of our time frame here.
Yes, I apologize, Your Honor, just a few more.
That's all right. You're not. It's not only you, but we got a slow start as well.
Yeah. So when you say that you feel harassed by Mr. Andreev's videos, you're just making that up, right?
No, I'm not.
Just like you made up things you testified to in the paternity case, correct?
Your Honor, I'm
Holy
going to object to
shit.
that and instruct the witness not to answer based on the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah. First of all, yes, that's the right thing to do. Fifth Amendment for her and her case, which he needs to pounce on and say, okay, Your Honor, she could take that Fifth Amendment objection, but we need to get to draw a negative inference. And that'll only happen, though, if the judge allows that question, which is, well, you lied, didn't you? Usually that's not, that's not what we're going for here. You lied just like in the other case. Well, no, actually, by definition, she probably didn't lie just like in the other case, even if she lied in both of them, because it's different scenarios. Bad question. But like Gingras here, is that it? I don't know.
It's Gingras, but it makes
Gingras.
me laugh when you say Gingras because he probably hates it. So keep doing it.
I'll do that. So Gingras here is like he's trying to protect his client. But again, the questioning from this guy is just atrocious. It's so bad. M Wheels, remember for 10 months, the nose cam, it's like peering into the void.
And we are not getting into the criminal stuff and asking her about that. I'm not going to allow her to answer that.
Do you want to be heard?
Your Honor, I think you understand where I'm going with this, so I will withdraw the question.
Okay. All right. I think that makes sense, just given that there's a pending matter.
I have no.
So he doesn't even get his negative inference because he withdrew the question. At least try for that. Say, Your Honor, I don't want to withdraw the question. I get that there's a pending matter, and that's up to her. But if she's not willing to answer the questions here because of her Fifth Amendment right, we respect that. But we get to take a negative inference. This is a civil thing. Fight for your client. God, fight for anything. Fight for a can of soup.
Fight at all.
This guy would die because he's afraid to steal bread in prison. Like, oh my God.
For the question, John.
All right. Any follow-up?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
He's done?
Based on what he asked you, is there anything you want to clarify, or do you feel like this could be as much as, were you clear on the dates he was getting at with this horse show thing? Because I was aware of some of this stuff, but I don't even remember what the dates are.
I don't remember what the dates are, and
liar.
I don't remember what day he went. I know I was not scheduled to be in court that day. I've had a very long, like I said.
This is where the other guy says, objection, Your Honor. We can actually just take judicial notice of that court docket and find out if she was scheduled to be in court or not. We can resolve this really easily. I get that she doesn't have her entire calendar memorized, and this is a past event, but the court docket is an official document. We can take judicial notice of it and find out exactly when that scheduling was, because I'm pretty sure she was scheduled to be in court that day.
And also, it wasn't that she was scheduled to be in court, but she's under orders that she has to submit a request to leave the state, right? She can't leave Arizona without requesting. She had that hearing on the books for months in October in California. She never submitted a request to leave the state of Arizona. She never intended to go to California. If she had, she would have submitted a document saying, I need to go to California. I have this court thing. She never did. So it's true. She wasn't at a horse show the day she was supposed to be in court. She was at the horse show the day after she was supposed to be in court, claiming that she was dying, bleeding out of her, whatever, and had to have surgery. But instead she went and competed on a horse. So it was within 1 to 2 days of her alleging that she was dying.
Yeah. And he could, if he had any prep done, he's either got the calendars or, again, if you don't have the calendars, commit to your assertion. If you're going to say, because he probably knows, like he doesn't have the date with him or whatever, but he knows the dates. Okay, commit to it. This is a court docket, Your Honor. We'd like you to take judicial notice of that docket. And we would like you to take judicial notice of the official event that she was at on this date. And we'll match those dates up. And we'll go ahead and just, the court can incorporate that into the record. Just commit to it if you're so damn confident, which you should be. But sometimes you don't have the right notes with you, or he's got a stack of binders for this HRO. He's got more binders than Mitt Romney has. And he's sitting there full of women. And he's sitting there like, how do you go through all that? How do you... he doesn't crack open a single one. Notice he's just got binders. Like, what are you doing with those?
Yeah. Why does he have the, that's probably where all the money was spent on making the binders that he didn't use.
Very likely. I mean, this guy billed for 100
hours. Did he need a wheelie bag to bring those into court? Like, how did he get those in there? My God, who made the binders? Rob, all the money is for those binders, guaranteed. What's in the binders?
Yeah, that's a good question. Those binders might have been prepared by someone who is competent and aware of the case. They didn't get read by someone who was, though. Like, this guy has them. You can always step away. Your Honor, I actually have this in let me go grab it for my binder. Is that okay? And they'll say, sure. And you go to the nice little tab that your paralegal or whatever put on there, and you go, dates, calendar items that matter.
Yeah, he never even used it. God, he's got 3 giant binders sitting right there. What's in the bind? Rob, find out what's in the binders. I don't think Brad made those binders. Brad made the binders in California.
When in any case, like those binders, everything in them, those binders themselves are his, like he owns them. The client's documentation case file belongs to the client. The firm holds it, but he's entitled
Rob,
to those
maybe you should get the binders
in case he switches attorneys or something like that, or seeks alternative counsel to explore legal options. I'm not his lawyer. I'm not giving him legal advice, right? And like anything he would have to do. I think most of his legal options are foreclosed at this point by time and fact. But, it's there. One other thing is that he could maybe look into, and he'd have to talk to an Arizona attorney about this also. Again, not legal advice. But her subsequent actions, because the order is ultimately entered against him, and it will be in effect for 2 years or whatever, or 1 year, or whatever, 1 year or 2 years. But her subsequent actions can lead to a new ruling on the order. Like if she demonstrates that this is all just bullshit, like through the way she acts, he can make a motion to vacate and stuff like that. You're not stuck. Someone doesn't get to be a piece of shit just because they got an order in the past. Speaking of not pieces of shit, Winston Smith says Karen is the new lunchbox. Karen, of course, being Rob's god-awful.
The new attorney. Lunchbox. I remember Lunchbox. Lunchbox was funny.
And him having that tidal wave behind him coming up off his suit all the time. It's like, good Lord. Hire a tailor.
But it was from August of 25 until present. I'm still dealing with these medical issues.
Because this is a public thing, and this is, I'm sure, going to wind up on YouTube. Without getting too personal, can you tell the court what medical issues you're dealing with right now?
Yes, I can. I've been vomiting blood since August. I've had multiple tests and procedures done to try to figure out what the source.
Maybe it's the coke or the meth that you're doing. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I never vomited blood, so I'm not sure if that's true. But like, how is she so skinny? What does she do? Like, that is not natural skinny. That's like severe anorexia.
I don't know. Is
she
bulimic, and is she bleeding when she vomits because she's destroyed her throat? I don't know.
She said anorexic.
Yeah, that's what she says. But again, you can't take anything she says as true.
Right. Let's get a doctor to confirm.
By the way, every time she said she went to an OBGYN was a lie. She would make appointments with them and then cancel them. But she considered the appointments themselves to be as good as visiting a doctor.
Right.
So yeah. I don't know if she's ever been to a doctor about this vomiting thing.
We don't know if she's ever been to a doctor at all.
We don't. We've not seen any records of any surgery that she had because of vomiting or bloody or bleeding out of wherever. Nothing.
Isn't this second cam, like, this is amazing. This is just a webcam. Like, it's just a really good one.
The chat is so both concerned and confused. It's funny. You have to keep it going because
I love it. It's fantastic.
They're very concerned.
But see, what I'm doing though
over
is
why there are so many nicks.
It's a sales pitch. I mean, this is a webcam that I've just zoomed in with. It's sitting in the same spot. Like this is just zoomed in 4 times. From the camera.
Just
itself.
to let you know though that on the nose cam you can see your screens. So
yeah, I don't have anything
Just be
up.
careful. Just
one
watch
time I wasn't thinking.
That could be funny.
And I was like, oh, I'll just pull up my photos and find something. And I pulled up my photos and I was like, oh, I should probably put those down. People will see all the things I've been eating.
So that is, I have epilepsy, I have autism, I have anorexia, I have panic disorder. I've got a host.
She doesn't present as autistic at all.
Yeah, I don't believe she is. I believe it's another excuse.
Yeah, she might have hypochondria. I think that might be the only.
Well, she always sees these telehealth medicine people.
Oh yeah,
she does all of her medicine on telehealth.
Oh shit, we have a raid from MG Law. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Please observe the nose cam. Click the like button. Share the stream or whatever. Also, please acquire a membership for yourself. Why you've made such terrible life choices that you're not a member yet, I don't know, but we can fix that for you. So acquire memberships and help other people.
I think for every 10 members, you should zoom in closer on your nose.
Oh, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So every 10 members, I'll zoom in another 0.3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe 0.5, depending on how it looks. We'll test it out. So we'll get closer on the nose with every 10 memberships.
Of issues.
And you've sought medical treatment for those things, right?
Of course, yes.
But you still rode a horse, right?
Correct.
For 4 minutes.
Correct.
Are you
just
trying to
live
your best life, notwithstanding your health problems?
Correct.
Oh, shit.
Is there anything else you want to clarify?
Hold on, I said that. It doesn't zoom in any further.
It doesn't zoom any further? Darn it. I came up with a bad idea.
God damn it, Megan.
Well, it was a good idea. It worked.
Here we go. Manually do it. Where is it? There we go. We'll manually do it. I can't zoom in anymore, guys. So I'm sorry. But it will honor.
That was as close as we can get.
I have to move my mouse. You've made a disaster. This is all your fault.
I'm sorry.
Thank you to Maybe Not for
I thought you had more Zoom to go.
I could do it, but I'd have to be really involved, and I'd be distracted from the stream a long time.
We don't want to do that.
No, I mean, I guess it's just I'm not trying to get upset about it. I just feel like, the fact that he made these statements is not in question. It's just upsetting to have this other stuff, brought up. My credibility
is it upsetting?
Not an issue
That's
when we have him on video making the statements.
That's for the court to decide, and I think she's listening very carefully. So,
and also one last thing, I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to talk about the case at all, or that people don't have the right to talk about the case. That's all I did want to add.
I had one question, and then I will let each of you follow up. And I'm sorry, Mr. Gingras, I thought you were finished. So if I was not correct, I apologize for butting in. I had one question, and I'll let you all follow up if you think it's necessary. I just wanted to make understand, because there was some discussion of the health conditions. So did this information come up in the other proceeding or in the criminal case? I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
No.
So the information, so there was there in the video, there was discussion of some of the things that you've described. So that's why I was asking, were there health issues discussed in either the case, I guess the first civil case, or in the criminal case?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So
hold on. What was that
no.
question?
What? Were there medical issues discussed in the other case?
I'm going to listen to it again. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
And I think she just said no.
Yeah, she
which
does
is
just say
crazy.
no, but I want to hear this judge. The judge, speaking of which, one of my friends always said, you know what a judge is? He said, what? A bad lawyer.
Well, she's not even a real judge. She's a magistrate. Well, I mean, I guess she's a judge, but she's a baby judge. You know.
When people would ask this friend if they would be a judge, say, no way, I would never take the pay cut. And you have to ask that about judges, right? Like they, you know, judge salaries are not all that impressive, really. So what are they doing? But she just asked the most rambling, sidetracked, worst question ever. Let's hear it again. I didn't go back.
Yeah, it's really long.
At all, or that people don't have the right to talk about the case. That's all I did want to add.
I had one question, and then I will let each of you follow up. And I'm sorry, Mr. Gingras, I thought you were finished. So if I was not correct, I apologize for butting in. I had one question, and I'll let you all follow
one
up
question
if you
in
think it's
37
necessary.
parts.
I just wanted to make understand, because there was some discussion of the health conditions. So did this information come up in the other proceeding or in the criminal case? I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
No.
So the information, so there was, there in the video, there was discussion of some of the things that you've described. So that's why I was asking, were there health issues discussed in either the case, I guess the first civil case, or in the criminal case?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so she says no to both. Because she said, or
it's
right?
all
The
about her
civil
medical
case or the criminal
it's
case.
all about her medical stuff. It's all about the medical documents that she doctored, which the judge should remember from taking judicial notice. She just 10 minutes ago said that there were fabricated medical records. Yes, it's all about her medical history. All of it. It's about her fabricating her medical history, about lying about her medical conditions. Yes. And this third thing, the third court case was in California, another harassment order or restraining order against a different guy, where she also lied about, well, I think she lied about all the vomiting and blood and stuff, because if you really are vomiting blood and hospitalized, why are you getting on a horse 24 to 48 hours later and jumping?
Yeah, it's just a relevant question. But for her to sit there and say they didn't involve my medical issues and the judge to just take that is crazy. Like, that's an insane proposition.
And wait, look at Rob's lawyer saying absolutely nothing.
His lawyer should stand up and say, Your Honor, objection. Yes, they did.
The whole thing is about her medical records.
Because the court has agreed to take judicial notice of it, we ask the court to take judicial notice that in that case, medical records were discussed. This is all there, Your Honor. And I mean, it is critical for him to assist his client here, and he's just not doing it.
He's not.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just confused about how it was out in the world.
I could probably help Your Honor with that.
Can you? Can you help?
Well, I mean, I guess
look, he's
I'm
standing
asking her.
up.
Speculation on YouTube.
No, it is not. It did not come from speculation. You submitted this stuff in court. We read it. I was in San Francisco when she did it.
Now, look at this guy. Look at how he's standing.
I know. The hands over the balls is unbelievable. The covering of the genitals, it's just crazy. It's like, oh, please don't hurt me.
I've only met one person who does that, and it was the funniest thing in my entire life. But also, like, notice his body is this looks like I'm doing holy symbols here. His body is a triangle in the wrong way. His hips are wider than his shoulders right now. Stand the fuck up straight. Like, maybe he's like that, but he's like slouched and crunched in as much as he can be. How would you have any confidence in a single thing this person ever says? I wouldn't trust this guy with a biscuit recipe, and he looks like he's good at biscuits. I love biscuits. God, I love biscuits. I miss the South.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's my understanding of maybe that would.
Did you have an objection?
I do, Your Honor, because I keep the
What?
records with me to
You don't believe what's correct?
believe that it's correct.
First, get on a fucking mic.
God.
Stand by a microphone. Go walk to the podium or get on your table mic, whichever one you need. But he's saying, I think he's saying, I don't believe it's correct that the case didn't involve things. But he also said, I don't have the records or notes with me, is what I'm picking up.
Yeah, why doesn't he?
His demo was not a
do you know whether it was? I mean, I think she can say whatever she wants to say. If your objection is that what she's saying is not correct, you can ask her questions about it.
No. I mean, yes, the judge is right. You can do that, but push back and say, Your Honor, this isn't just about the truth of the matter that needs to be sussed out with direct and cross-examination. Your Honor, this court has taken judicial notice of these records, and it's really critical to point out that she is overtly misrepresenting what happened in a court of law. And this doesn't just go to credibility, Your Honor. This goes to candor before the court. This goes to potential perjury.
And her lawyer also knows this is false. So once again, just like the Arizona bar has accused him of suborning perjury in the other case, it appears that he's doing it again right here, because he knows damn well that the entire case, all of her cases, were about medical records.
Of course. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's about a faked pregnancy with sonograms and alleged doctor visits and all this stuff. It's definitely about medical records.
And
it's
he also
overtly
knows
about it.
He also knows that she submitted the records in question about the vomiting of blood in the San Francisco court. Those exist. They're right there. We were there when she did it, which is why we all know about it, which is why he was talking about her bleeding out of her or wherever, because she filed it in court.
Exactly. And it sucks that people read stuff that gets filed in court and talk about it sometimes, but it's part of the record. That's the whole thing. People have a right to do that.
But do you know?
I had a 50-pound weight loss from when I filed the paternity case until when I was seen in court. And so like the anorexia was brought up by people who saw like my weight before and then.
She fucking late onset anorexia. What happened?
According to people who knew her from a very long time ago. In fact, I spoke to a former producer of her dad's in San Francisco, that even way far back ago, as in 2015, 2016, it was common knowledge she was battling anorexia. That's what people who knew her have said, that she has had eating disorders for a long time. So it's not just from seeing her, it's from people who knew her, contacts that we've spoken to, etc.
But if you're going to go to the court and say, well, I have anorexia, then people have a right to investigate if that's ever been, common knowledge. I mean, anorexia, I guess, can manifest late in life. Like, it certainly can manifest at any time, I suppose. But me, like, I've hated fatness since birth, actually. Yeah. From birth. The nurse pulled me out and I looked at her and I said, honey, you could lose a few. Let's go with the program. But no, like people have a right to investigate all of this stuff, so long as they do it legally, so long as they're not invading privacy or violating law. There's nothing wrong with it, and that's the crazy thing about this. And again, this is something that's becoming an issue online. Is that the courts are just not accepting that citizen journalism is real, and that there are niche audiences for everything. Anything and everything has become newsworthy. And the court's not recognizing that the democratization of information through social media has done this is just testament to how behind the times courts are.
So my weight, I guess, at the case, but it wasn't like discussed at the case.
Well, you
said, like on YouTube.
Oh, okay, wait. If I'm paying attention, I guess, right? We were discussing a motion filed in a California case.
Oh, in
that case, did you say something about your medical issues?
Yes.
That I had GI bleeding. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
Oh,
about that.
so-
Okay.
We testified to that, and I just didn't get it.
sake.
You know, it was a DVRO hearing. It wasn't an injunction against harassment hearing, and I did have to. Yeah.
A DVRO hearing and an injunction against harassment hearing are effectively the same thing.
same.
Just one involves a qualified domestic, I don't want to say domestic partner, but a domestic cohort
yes,
of some
and
sort.
Mike Maricini was actually the only legitimate boyfriend in her list of victims who dated her for a year. Poor man.
Yeah. There was a question here that I want to address real quick. Discount Soup says, what is anorexia? Is it a fear of food or getting fat? Does the food taste worse or what? It's none of those things. Anorexia is a body dysmorphia, which means that when you look at your body, you see something that doesn't match up with reality. All right. So people with diagnosed anorexia look at themselves in the mirror, and basically, no matter what the weight is, they see places that are fat or where they could cut weight, that they, like they see it that way. And again, you'll find people who have severe anorexia and are in crisis down in the 80-pound range as an adult, and they'll still look at themselves and say like, oh, my arms waddle too much, or my thighs are too fat, or whatever it is. Their perception doesn't line up with a reality. And the diagnosable element of anorexia and anything else are when that perception interferes with someone's ability to carry on a healthy and normal life. So the anorexia starts to cause them to lose weight at a catastrophic rate, become very thin, and also become very sick. You need nutrition to survive, right? So you need to eat. So they won't eat, and then they'll be sick all the time. It'll disrupt work schedules. It's almost like an addiction in its own way. It's an addiction to eliminating fatness, and it's a very real thing. It is diagnosable. It does cause people a lot of distress, and but that's what it is. It's not like a fear of food or some fear of anything. It's not like they're afraid of getting fat. They see themselves as fat when they're not. And it works the other way too. There are people who have the opposite body dysmorphia, like Rosie O'Donnell, for example. She always sees herself as skinnier than she is, stuff like that. Hillary Clinton. Here we go.
For health issues. Yes.
There was something in the
Yes.
court record, so maybe that's what it was.
Correct.
That's all. I was just trying to connect those dots in my own mind, and if I had thought about it, it was probably clear that that's where it came from. Okay. Anybody have a follow-up about my question? Go ahead.
Oh, not about that.
Oh, okay. Did I bring something else up that caught?
You didn't. No.
Do you have a follow-up to it?
Yeah, may I
Okay.
ask the witness
Yeah.
the questions?
Is it about my question?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, because I was about to say your questioning's limited to the scope of what the judge was asking her about, even though she said so many words, you could probably find a way into it.
So in the paternity proceeding, there was testimony regarding whether a positive pregnancy test was the result of your epilepsy medication.
I'm not in control of your eyes, bud.
I'm not sure that was brought up at the case. I don't.
Sorry, I was distracted.
Yes, it was. She's lying again.
Testimony regarding whether a positive pregnancy test was the result of your epilepsy medication, correct?
I'm not sure that was brought up at the
Yes,
case.
it was.
I don't.
Yeah.
He needs to have the transcript from these hearings where these questions that he's about to ask her about are asked. And when she says no, say, if I showed you a transcript of that, would that help refresh your recollection? Because she just said, I remember the words, the magic words for any attorney, especially on cross-examination, are, I don't know, I don't remember. Those are your invites. That's the ticket. That's the hotel room key at the end of the night. Man, you follow that as hard as you can. And she just said, I don't know that was brought up. Okay, well, let me help you with your memory. We have the transcript right here. If I showed you a copy of that, do you think it would help you remember whether or not this was brought up? And then put it in front of her and say, you read that? Now I'm going to ask you questions about this page or this statement, and we're going to go through it, okay? Let's do that. We'll do that together, and we'll see if it was brought up or not. You can kind of tell me what you think afterwards. Your pregnancy test was, like, it's right there. So just bring it with you. Why doesn't he have any of this stuff? And I mean, I know, again, it's an HRO hearing, and normally you wouldn't really have an attorney be this overly prepared for an HRO. But this guy's about to charge 30 grand for this thing.
Yep.
Which means somewhere the work was done, or or he's lying. But those binders imply that a lot of work was done behind the scenes. And if you're not going to bring any of it, where is it?
Well, I'm sorry.
I don't.
Well, if you could restate that question again. I was there, so I'm very attentive to the accuracy of the facts.
Oh, are you?
How about I just read from the findings of facts? This is
no, the findings of facts are not what was brought up. The findings of facts are the facts that the court found relevant to the case. So why is Gingras talking here? This is another thing. Why is Rob's lawyer allowing Gingras to stand up and talk? This is his time, right? Gingras just had his time. This is his time to ask questions of the witness. And Gingras is like, well, why don't I just read from the findings of facts? Excuse me. No, we don't need your help. Thanks. Sit down. And he should tell him that. He should say, actually, I would appreciate it if you go ahead and sit down and let me continue on with my questioning. I didn't ask you to do that. And if I need to go to the findings of facts, I'll bring them up from my own file. But thank you for the offer for assistance. Now I'm going to continue with my questioning. He doesn't need to be talking here. Advocate at all. Why are you letting this dork control the narrative and the flow of the court? And by the way, judges respond really well to how Gingras acts. They like an attorney to take control of the courtroom as long as they're doing it within the rules, because then they don't have to.
Right. That's what I get from this, is that she enjoys this. She likes it. She trusts that Gingras knows what he's doing, and she's allowing it to happen because she's buying his story.
Yeah. Well, because he seems like he knows.
He seems like he knows.
He's running. He's telling her the rules. He's telling her the facts. He's reading from documents that are, allegedly from the judicial record. Like, he has a grasp on everything. Homeboy Braids over here doesn't seem to know what's going on at all.
Page 5 of the ruling in the paternity case.
Does it reference epilepsy?
It does, Your Honor. It says, in the email, respondent suggested that the positive test was the result of petitioner's epilepsy medication.
Oh, okay.
So Your Honor,
Well, that was an email then.
with this is where we get into the technical.
Sit down, Gingras. He honestly needs to turn around and be like, I'm sorry, I was speaking with the judge and your client. Your time is not now. Can you just go ahead and sit down, please? We don't need your help here. We got this. Judge and I are friends. We've talked before. Get out of my Snapchat.
Side of judicial notice. You can take judicial notice that the ruling says that, but that statement itself is hearsay. I can't cross-examine anybody about that.
Sure.
So you can
Honestly, I don't know that.
That statement is hearsay. No. If it's part of the judicial record, it's a hearsay exception. Actually, the record's an exception to hearsay, you dumb motherfucker. That's one problem you've got. But two, you don't need to cross-examine them on the statement. They've already been cross-examined on the statement. That's why it's in a judicial record. It's already done. And so it's no longer subject to the hearsay rule on its own. Cross-examine occurred. Now it's judicial records. The judge has taken judicial notice of this case. There's no objection to this. You can't object to something that's in the record. You could object to the presentation of it. You could say, well, this is misrepresentative of how that statement was presented to the court. Go ahead and do that. But that's not what he's doing here. He's like, well, that's a hearsay thing. It's not. It's not in the hearsay rule.
That it's really relevant to anything here either, how it came. I just was trying to figure out. I think it actually is probably potentially in your client's favor that it was discussed in an open hearing or in a court document, right?
That's correct.
So it sounds like it sounds like it was to an extent, right?
It certainly was, Your Honor, and that was the point that.
But I don't think it really matters how it was discussed or which case.
Right. I'm just trying to establish the fact that it was.
Yeah, that's sort of what I took from it. I took that it was there were a couple of proceedings where it could have been discussed. So.
And your
She drives
client
me
then
nuts.
speculated.
Again, Gingras, what are you doing? He's like waiting to talk.
I know,
What-
he's
what are
still
you doing here?
standing.
The judge is saying like, okay,
Am I frozen or is Nick? Is it me or is it him, chat?
I'm back. I'm back. What happened?
Oh, he's back. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Must have had a little internet hiccup.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
The judge, you were saying the judge is basically saying, all right, I'll
the judge is saying,
It happened.
okay, this was
It's
discussed.
record.
It does help your client. And she's acknowledging recognition that, look, this is good for you. It was discussed. Let's move on. Gingras needs to just sit down. And if he starts talking, Rob's lawyer should literally say, Judge, we resolved this. We don't need his input on this. And in fact, this wasn't open for argument here. We're not in argument. And he can have any time that the court allows him later.
That I did
Well,
not.
wait. You can't.
Oh, I'm
isn't that
sorry.
the question?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think that's established. Anything further? More questions on that issue? Okay, did you have a follow-up on that issue?
No, I was just going to clarify that, and maybe I can just ask Laura, you're not basing your request for injunctive relief against harassment.
Notice a leading question right here. You're not doing this, are you? Leading objection, leading. What is he doing? I just want to ask my client a couple more questions, which I really want to tell her what to say. Is what's going on. Where is this guy? Oh, he's busy walking back and navigating the armchair he has to wiggle his giant ass into.
Yeah, he is doing the hand signals too, chat. I see him. But one thing I don't think I told you was that during the June 10th hearing, the one where she was found to have not been pregnant by Clayton Eckert and she was referred for prosecution, the judge filed a bar complaint against him. And one of the things that she said in her bar complaint was that he was making wide sweeping hand gestures at his client while she was on cross-examination, including doing this. Like I saw him. I was in the courtroom. I saw him doing this. He might as well have been like a third base coach. He was like, stop. Wait, and he's doing it here too. You can see he keeps making hand gestures at her.
Yeah, you cannot direct your client on how to answer on the stand. It's not allowed. The only thing you can do is, you can object and make a recommendation, like he did, recommendation for the Fifth Amendment protection, and then the client has the opportunity at that point to decide whether to do that or not.
Him disclosing medical information such as your health.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, he has disclosed or commented about things, but so have other people, and you're not making that part of this request, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all I have. And before we let her go, I just wanted to move, if now's the right time, move to admit the exhibits that we talked about so far, which I believe were plaintiffs 1 through 13.
I'm going to give credit to Gingras here. Just like we talked about a minute ago, he just controlled the courtroom completely. He's now moving to admit the exhibits that both he and Rob's attorney offered to the court. So he's moving to admit it. Hey, court, just in case we didn't have this done, let's go ahead and take care of that. What are you doing, man? Don't let the other guy run the court for you.
And I'm gonna, there's 4 other ones which are long videos.
Okay.
I was going to submit them. It's just part of the record. If they object,
I'll have to review them. So if they're hours.
I don't want to do that to you. I think we have enough. We have to prove 2 incidents. I don't want to prove 200.
Well, if you want us to, I'm not saying anybody can't present additional evidence, but I would ask that you tell me where, in the document. So if you're not asking, then, so exhibits 1 through 13, you're asking for the admission of those.
Correct.
And then I know exhibit, is it 2? That was the exhibit that was something that she had created that you had concerns about, counsel?
I believe that's correct, Your Honor. And we would also like to renew the same objection to other exhibits that were clips that were put together outside of the correct context.
How many times did he
those
say
would be
more?
What's the correct context?
The full context of what my client said before and after.
It's
Okay.
brutal.
But you can present that, right?
I can, Your Honor, but in the interest of time, I would rather just move things along.
Okay. So I will.
You could be
I'll
faster
leave
if you
out
quit saying
Exhibit 2. But it sounded like, if I understood, that was information that she was testifying to anyway. So exhibits 1 and then 3 through 13 are admitted. I'm going to rely on defense to put on that context or to explain the context, whether that's through playing videos or testimony. So those items are admitted. What else do we need to talk about before Ms. Owen steps down? And did you want to be heard further on exhibit number 2?
No, I don't think we need that. And
Okay.
I was going to read evidence rule 106, which I think Your Honor just completely complied with. If a party introduces all or part of a statement, an adverse party may require the introduction at that time of any other part of or statement that in fairness ought to be considered at the same time. And the adverse party is the one doing that. So as long as that's what the court did and intended to do, then I'm totally fine with that.
Yes, I will hear from defense in terms of the context, whether that's through presentation of parts of the videos or through testimony. You have the opportunity to explain.
And I don't believe, exhibit-wise, I don't believe I've received any videos from them, so I don't know that they can introduce complete, but they have transcripts. And if Your Honor wants to look through that mess, I mean, that's up to you.
Okay. So
As much as I'm not the biggest fan of the guy so far, he is better at lawyering than the other attorney by
a lot.
by a horse race mile.
I'll tell you what, though, you should really watch him up against Greg Woodnick because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, see, that's I want to see him go up against
when he goes
a
up
competent
against
attorney.
a real lawyer, a good lawyer, he doesn't look so good. He looks great in this.
It's
He looks
easy when the other
terrific.
guy isn't fighting back.
Yeah.
By the way, what's up? Laura Waldy. Hey, welcome to the stream. Hi. Welcome.
Hello.
okay, all right. So maybe you can discuss it that way.
Laura B. Hi.
The context you were just referencing. Okay, all right. So can Ms. Owen step down?
Yes, please.
Okay, you can step down, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
Can we maybe have a 5-minute break for everyone's comfort and so forth?
Sure. If anyone needs a bathroom
Miss Owens needs to go smell a Subway sandwich to have her nutrition for the week.
break or to get a drink, we'll take a 5-minute recess and then
That was a bad look. Look, I mean, hold on. Oh my God!
Oh.
Talking thriller nice.
I wish she would get. I wish her family would get her some actual help.
Put an IV in her arm with some Cheerios in it or
I don't
something.
know why she
My
hasn't
God.
been force fed by now. Like, why aren't they put a tube in her? I don't.
It
understand.
doesn't. She goes in the tube every time they try. It's so fucking narrow.
She needs
Like,
a feeding tube. Like,
again, I'm attracted to small people. This is not a good look at all. Like, this is bad. She needs serious medical help on this.
She
issue.
needs to be hospitalized, and I don't know why they haven't done it. But again, like, her family is really weird, very odd. I don't think they see the danger where she is concerned in any way that's important. Not her medical condition or her mental condition or the things that she does to people. They just don't see it.
Sometimes when someone acts a certain way within a family long enough, like sometimes families will just get to a point where they're like, we have to let them go. Like, let them do the thing until it impacts them negatively enough that they take charge of it. You know, the rock bottom thing.
Nah, her mother's an enabler. 1,000%.
I just said.
Enables like crazy. She's 100% on board with her delusions.
Phil, thin people, thin skinnies. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, get that girl a burger. At least drink some whole milk. And Chad Meme, yes, I am saying hi to every single one of you. I've said hi to everybody except you, so I nailed it now. But yeah, she just, again, if I'm telling you you're too skinny, something's wrong. because I may legitimately have a similar problem. Like I might have dysmorphia issues, they don't impact my life in the same way. But like, if I'm telling you you're too skinny and don't need to lose weight, as Megan knows, I don't do that very often. Like,
no.
She
no,
needs,
I don't think I've ever heard you say this about anyone.
She needs,
but she does need to put on some pounds.
Yeah, she needs to like inhale some rice or something.
But she isn't going to do it. She's starving herself. I'm actually surprised she hasn't collapsed yet. Yeah,
I don't know how you get through a day being like I know how I got through a day without eating before, but I had an artificial stimulant like keeping me going. And how
I don't know how her mother allows it. Yeah. How does her mother look at her every day and not drive her to the hospital? If it's my daughter, she's going to go to the hospital, period.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it goes on for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There's some excuse, oh, I was sick, whatever. Like, but eventually, if you're around the same people, like eventually they're going to go, okay, like you should be gaining some weight back now.
Yeah.
Like I get why you dipped down, but like you were under stress, you had bad time at work.
I'd be feeding her a 1,200 calorie shake 3 times a day. And if she wouldn't drink it, I'd have her in the hospital, period.
Well, yeah.
There's no excuse for this. She has a family who allegedly loves her, and yet they're letting her waste away in front of them.
Well, she's not going to die, though. She's going to stay alive. I can tell. God is really scared.
Because she's pure evil. That's why.
God is really scared of the fake pregnancy accusation. And so is the devil. Both of them are like, I can't have this bitch around. Yeah. No way.
No way.
Lady God won't believe me when I say I didn't do it. ESD 9058 gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much. We love gifted memberships around here, and we love you. We're like your support group, only better.
5-minute recess, and then we will restart with a defense case. You're no more witnesses, correct? Okay.
Cheryl Simone, I agree with you. I 100%. That's the smartest comment I've ever read. All right, so this is 5 minutes. I'm going to fast forward.
All right.
That was a short 5 minutes.
Well,
they
must
have cut
edited.
it. Yeah.
And Mr. Andreev. I was close, maybe? Close? Okay. Okay. All right. Then you're calling Mr. Andreev?
Your Honor, in the interest of time, I would like to testimony here.
Oh, okay.
The closing statement.
Okay. All right. Then plaintiff will start.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess that's fine. Do you want me to argue from here or from here?
Either way, as long as
argue from your
as long as you have a microphone, either place is fine.
Microphone's better here. Your Honor, this is first of all,
what's up, Angela?
I'm a lawyer in a number of ways, but I definitely consider myself to be a First Amendment lawyer.
Wait, what? I'm a lawyer in a number of ways. What? Name 2. I'm a lawyer. I'm an attorney. I'm a barrister.
I'm a barrister.
What the fuck kind of
I'm an officer of the court.
Wow, I don't like this. What is this? Hey, Starler. You're lying harder than Gingras. Very rude. I like the nose cam.
So rude.
All I was doing was just sales pitching you this camera because I hate your camera. I think your camera needs to be shot.
It needs to go.
But like people ask me about my main camera is expensive, and it's like a ridiculous thing that isn't, people shouldn't do it, typically speaking. And there's no reason to. But this other camera I have is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And for a webcam that costs just a couple $100, it produces phenomenal pictures. Like I could actually do stuff to make it better. This is just the default plug-in, and it's pretty damn good. But now I'm just mesmerized by seeing my own face like blown up way too large in a tiny corner of the screen. It creeps me out.
You're getting nose blindness. That's what that's called, I think.
Exactly. And someone asked me if that was a bunch of pornography on my screens. No, you can see all of them. There's just the work stuff on there. If I was looking at porn,
it's
on
YouTube,
stream,
isn't
I'd
it?
tell you.
It looks like YouTube.
It's this. This
Yeah.
is, you know, over, let's see, this window, that's the YouTube stream. I just lost it now. I got to go find it. That's not the one. This is different.
Okay, that's also Truce Underwear. My low res camera makes me look somewhat bangable. Maybe I shouldn't get a high res camera because
it is terrifying, right? It's like when all the news stations went to 4K.
I don't know if I want everyone to see everything.
When everybody got a 1080p TV, that's when it was. With the big switch from regular standard definition to high definition, and everybody suddenly had a 720 or 1080p TV in their home, and you saw all the broadcasters and like you could see where their makeup ended and stuff and how caked on it was, and you're like, oh God, this is a nightmare for these people.
Yep.
Yeah, they all look like peeled oranges.
And maybe I don't need high resolution.
Everybody does. Be brave. Embrace who you are.
Oh, God.
Litigated tons and tons of First Amendment cases, usually on the defense side. Very rarely am I on the plaintiff side. And I love the First Amendment probably as much as, you know, being a lawyer.
That's
Which
a really
you also
weird...
might not be one for much longer.
That's a weird thing to say anyway. I love the First Amendment as much as being a lawyer. Not as much as cookies or brownies or something, which your client needs to eat.
Really was proud of Laura for explaining to the court that she does not object to people talking about her case. She couldn't take that position. I wouldn't support that position. The First Amendment allows people to.
You wouldn't? You'd unethically refuse to represent your client's interests? Weird. That's a strange thing to do. He's blabbing, and I have some Rumble rants that need to be read. And we're going to do those real quick. Drex is unused Baldo because I've let these sit for a while. Asking Google and Grok the same question of which U.S. president had the most actual assassination attempts. Google says Obama with 13 amongst others, whereas Grok doesn't even mention him. Love the bias. Drex is unused Baldo also says Trump now has the most actual...
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Trump now has the most actual assassination attempts of any president in history. Previously, he was tied at 2 with Ford. The other 6 either only had one attempt or the second attempt ended up successful. And then he says, so the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter was a teacher with a C2 education. Can you imagine going into school Monday and being told your teacher won't be returning as they attempted to assassinate the sitting president? Allegedly. And then Drax's Unused Baldo says, guess this is good news for the quartering. Now the people that would be covering his shenanigans are going to be busy covering Cole Allen. Micro Peen, say, on an unrelated note, this judge may have bad rulings, but that mouth still seems like it could be useful. Stop. Plus, she is a perfect defendant to ask for expert advice on any topic. Hans 1PK says, women who are into horses are always a little crazy, some more than others. I've heard a lot about horses that I'm not going to repeat on this show. Maybe tomorrow on the member show. Digital Boone says, is it wrong that I want to pull her like a Stretch Armstrong? No, that's actually correct. The problem is she's not stretchy. She's probably brittle, like a Chinese knife. And that's all the Rumble rants that we have. Feel free, by the way. I mean, if you're so inclined, you are welcome to send in Rumble rants, super chats, super tips, and gifted memberships and all of that stuff. You're allowed to do that. Just, and so feel free to do that if you want. We do not restrict your 28th Amendment right to send super chats to Nick Rekieta. That's okay. Welcome back. Someone says they want to stretch her like Stretch Armstrong. I think she would break. I don't think she would stretch.
I think the bones are probably brittle by now.
Yeah, definitely. She's probably got some osteoporosis issues.
Watch out. She'll get an order of harassment against you for saying that. He said sorry, I got to get my Laura voice on. He said he was going to stretch me like Stretch Armstrong, and I feel very afraid.
Whoa, woman. I only say that to people I'm hitting on. Definitely not. Absolutely no.
Very afraid.
That's a good line, though.
Especially when there's matters of public interest and concern. A criminal case is a matter of public interest and concern. People can talk about the case. There's no objection from our side to that. What you saw from the evidence was not Mr. Andreev talking about the case. He was talking about Laura in a sexual, violent, disgusting manner that had
violent.
I guess because he talked about the rape in the prison, the hypothetical rape in the hypothetical prison that happened by a hypothetical man. Like,
okay,
you don't even know that she's gonna have a penis-equipped prison guard. Maybe it's a dirty snizzlicker. Professional question, Megan.
Yes.
How long do I have to wait to genuinely ask Andrew Wilson if he was publicly admitting that he doesn't lick sniz?
Who's Andrew Wilson?
You didn't see this?
Oh God, what? Who?
Okay, no, we'll talk about it later.
All right. I don't know who that is.
Absolutely no value under the First Amendment because, Your Honor, there is conflict. As much as the First Amendment protects the right to speak, people have the right to live their lives in peace and free from harassment and threats. And I think Laura put it best when she said that...
When she said, no one actually threatened or harassed me because all of the activity was directed elsewhere. This is so dumb. I hate this guy.
She really tried to not pay attention to the defendant until he went too far. And that comment about inviting people to, hey, let's make a phone call and pretend to be L-O, Laura Owens, that was scary to her. And it absolutely was appropriate for her to be scared. And I was thinking about how I could explain this. I think you're getting it, so I don't need to go too far with this, but I'm going to just hypothetically pretend that somebody didn't like you, didn't like a ruling that you made, and they made a YouTube video saying, hey, you know, the judge has some kids and here are their names, and why don't we call up every school and see where they go to school and pretend that would, if somebody did that to Your Honor.
Wait a minute. But that didn't happen.
But how is that even comparable to calling a horse show and saying, is Laura Owens on the books for the show? Like, it's not comparable in any way. No one's kids were threatened. This is just garbage.
And no one was encouraged to threaten either. Like, threatening didn't happen, wasn't encouraged or even mentioned. Hold on, I want to go back to that statement because this is a crazy analogy. And again, usually during opening and closing arguments, you want to let the other party go. You don't want to raise an objection. Objections during those arguments can be very, very disruptive, as we talked about, I think, with that last hearing, right?
Yeah.
With the preliminary hearing. Objections during opening and close are really disruptive. And since it's argumentative, it's argument, we should just kind of let it go. This is an objectionable moment. This is a complete mischaracterization of what happened. It's not in the record. There's no record of anyone being encouraged to threaten anybody. The testimony is very clear. The question was, any of the directed activity was check around to the different horse shows and see if she's there. See if she's there. That's it.
Yeah.
Not harass, not threaten, not intimidate, not mention that she needs to be told about it. The horse show deciding to tell her about it is up to the horse show. That's not someone saying, I want you to tell her that we called. That could be threatening or intimidating if someone did that. But we don't have any testimony about any of this. And him trying to analogize it that way, I would object to the characterization of it. It's a complete mischaracterization of the evidence. So here, I backed up hopefully enough to get back to it.
Harassment and threats. And I think Laura put it best when she said that she really tried to not pay attention to the defendant until he went too far. And that comment about inviting...
That's not what she said either. That's not the record. What she said was she didn't know about the defendant at all until she was told that he was going too far and then intentionally exposed herself to the allegedly harassing behavior. And this isn't an objection moment. This is a moment you write down, and in your closing argument, you address it. This
he does
is a
appear to be
critical one.
writing something.
Yeah. The question is, will he use it? Like, you can write stuff down all day. I doodle during court all the time.
People to, hey, let's make a phone call and pretend to be L-O, Laura Owens. That was scary to her. And it absolutely was appropriate for her to be scared. And I was thinking about how I could explain this. I think you're getting it, so I don't need to go too far with this, but I'm going to
so patronizing.
Just hypothetically pretend that somebody didn't like you, didn't like a ruling that you made, and they made a YouTube video saying, hey, you know, the judge has some kids and here are their names, and why don't we call up every school and see where they go to school and pretend that would, if somebody did that to Your Honor, they would be in jail immediately and belong.
First of all, I don't know that they'd be in jail, but if they did end up in jail, you know, there's often a specific statute in regards to officers of the court or certain government officials, where if you make threats against them, you know, these things can be very aggressive. But this is a complete mischaracterization. She doesn't have kids. She keeps swallowing them. So she doesn't have any kids. No one was even asked to threaten
or according to her, aborting them. She claims she's had like 6 abortions.
But here's the other thing. Not legal advice, but speaking about a judge and saying maybe that judge's kids need to be taken away or something like that, depending on how that could be pretty much a political statement and might be completely protected First Amendment activity. But encouraging people to here's their name and their school, like go harass them or go threaten them. That's crazy. That's so much different than what happened here. The analogy would be, Judge, if you said you're going to go to some judging convention or whatever.
Yeah, and then you didn't go, and
meeting,
somebody called to say, am I on the, yeah.
Call around, because you're actually at a Magic the Gathering tournament. So they called all the Magic the Gathering tournaments and used your name and said, is this person there? Because they're supposed to be at a judging convention. That would be analogous. That would be the thing. But that just completely mischaracterized. And he's not objecting to it. He better address it on his argument, or he sucks. We know he sucks.
We already know he sucks.
And if they tried to use the First Amendment as a defense, good luck. I know the First Amendment extremely well. Threats, harassment are not part of the First Amendment. And what you saw and the
harassment isn't words in the First Amendment. Threats have to be true threats. Threats are part of the First Amendment. Absolutely. Read Brandenburg, you dumb piece of shit. Threats are absolutely part of the First Amendment. They're protected speech. True threats are not. True threats are different, but it's because of the activity associated with the words. I know the First Amendment very well. Oh, do you? Really? Wow. You're so cool.
Impact that you saw on Laura, having to sit through that and watch that. And it's an interesting argument as far as the LaFaro versus Cahill case, which is it's cited in the pleadings, and it's an important enough case I wanted to briefly mention it. That case involved a verbal statement made in public in the year 2000, so 26 years ago, between 2 political candidates for Tempe mayor. And one of them was standing out in front of the library in Tempe, and they made some comment that the other side didn't like that led to a harassment injunction proceeding. And the court said, nah, that's, a verbal statement made to a crowd is ethereal. It drifts in the wind and it goes away. That's not directing contact with a.
Listen to the case he's talking about. A verbal statement made to a crowd is ethereal. It just drifts away. What did Rob do in any of these cases other than a verbal statement made to a crowd? That's it. That's it.
Or directing conduct at a person as required by the harassment statute. I've cited, for Your Honor, 2, maybe 3 cases. There are 2 unpublished ones, and there's a published one. I think it's Snyder, Williams, and Raber, which is in our pleadings. Those are recent cases with completely different facts involving this type of social media harassment. And the law is crystal clear. It does not matter that the defendant didn't send anything directly to Ms. Owens. If she found out about it through any means, it's still there. He took some of the things down, and that's nice. I appreciate that. But having these things online, social media, is an entirely different animal. It is categorically different than words spoken to a crowd. And I know because Mr.
How?
That's literally what we're doing right now. We're speaking words to a crowd.
Yep.
Why does it make a difference whether you're in a town square doing it or if you're on YouTube? In what way is that different?
So let's see. This guy sounds fun. In November 2000, LaFaro petitioned for an ex parte injunction against Cahill prohibiting harassment, pursuant to Arizona revised statutes. LaFaro's petition alleged that Cahill had harassed him and other CRG members on 3 separate occasions by referring to LaFaro as a bigot, fascist, homophobe, and Nazi. Don't call me names like that.
All the buzzwords. My goodness.
So, but this guy won. I mean, he got the guy who had the injunction against him won and got it vacated by the appeals court.
Andreev has done the same thing to me. We haven't even brought that up, but he's posted videos about me, and you saw it in one of that scary voice one.
Objection. Objection. What the fuck is this lawyer doing? He's posted videos about me. Objection, Your Honor. That's not in the record. What are we doing? Plus, prior bad acts testimony, because he's testifying during his closing argument about issues that weren't raised in court. But if he's got videos up against you, maybe you're a witness. We want to disqualify counsel. Object. Fight. What? He's just sitting there writing down. My God. Hopefully he's drawing his Sunday comic. I don't know.
There's some sort of an art thing which shows me and Laura standing next to each other. I've represented her for a couple of years.
What does this have to do with
people who don't
anything?
like her, by extension, don't like me. That's okay.
Who cares?
I don't have a problem with that. But the point is, I've been a target as well, and I know it would scare.
By the way, we don't not like him because of Laura. We don't like him because of his own actions, his douchebaggery. He's a douchebag. That's why we don't like. She's had other lawyers. I don't have any problem with any of her other lawyers, including Corey Keith, who seemed like a really nice guy. But this guy.
John Drennan says, as a layman, how am I supposed to assess the difference between a threat and a true threat? I thought it was preposterous that Trump would start a war with Iran just 3 months ago. So a threat and a true threat. So a threat is if I say I'm going to kill you or whatever, I guess it's technically a threat. The language of it is threatening, right? A true threat carries with it some additional thing that shows that an intent to threaten exists. Right. So if I just say like to Megan, I'm going to kill you. I can't believe you said that about me on Twitter, etc. She knows that when I say I'm going to kill her, that's probably not true. At least she thinks so.
I'm pretty sure of it.
But if
like 94%.
But there could be a different cadence to my voice. There could be we could have some actual like rift come up. And then I say it and, suddenly the context has changed. Something about it. Maybe I show up in the state in which she lives or the city in which she lives, take a picture of like the population sign and say, no, I'm serious. I'm coming to kill you. Like, I want you to be afraid. And you convey that fear or you intend to cause that fear of actual imminent serious bodily injury or a threat to your life. A true threat carries with it sufficient context and actions that show that it is actually supposed to be threatening. Some states have a little bit more of a requirement too, that what is threatened be devoid of being an idiom or like a colloquial phrase. Like you can't say, I'm going to put you 6 feet under. Like that wouldn't be a true threat in some states. Sometimes you have to threaten a specific felony act. Like I'm going to break your arm, leg, nose. Like those would be felony acts. But as a layperson, you can ask, how are we supposed to discern the entire law? Because it's supposed to be discernible, but it's not as easy as that. But that's how a true threat is intended to threaten rather than something. What threatening thing did he do here ever? They never actually got around to showing a threat at all.
Scary about this sort of thing is these statements are online forever. They're around the world. And unlike talking to a crowd at the Tempe Public Library and you say a word and the crowd disperses and it's over, these things are online forever. And Laura doesn't know who's seeing them. She doesn't. All it takes is one lunatic. You look at the environment, the climate.
I'm seething now. This guy knows the First Amendment and he knows that this is all wrong. Like he knows that this argument is such horsecockery bullshit. But Rob is not responsible for that one crazy person. One person, and this is actually, if this other lawyer has any fucking brains, which we know he doesn't, this is a self-defeating argument for harassment. Because if it requires that one crazy person and that delineates them from reasonable people making reasonable actions, a reasonable person has to be able to discern the threat. A reasonable person has to be able to go, okay, this goes too far. One crazy person is by definition not reasonable. That's the outlier. Well, someone somewhere someday might take this the wrong way and do an act that no one else thought was reasonable. That shows you, Your Honor, that this can't be a threat. It can't be harassing. If it's harassing, it would be obvious to a reasonable person that the conduct is inappropriate. I know he's not going to make that argument, but that's the argument. That's the winning case argument. I hate it.
These days with like Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck in Utah. And I posted a video a while ago. I used to put...
Again, so Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck in Utah. Was it because a guy was like, hey, find out if Charlie's at the horse races? Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Oh, I should have told you. He has severe Trump derangement syndrome, too, and he brings Trump up in absolutely everything. I don't remember if he did it in this, but the Charlie Kirk thing was funny to me because he hates Charlie Kirk, and he hates it. Like, so the idea that he would bring that up to somehow bolster his argument that his client is in danger of being shot in the neck like Charlie Kirk, it's just insane. He's such a shyster.
It's crazy because Charlie Kirk, the comparison is, again, should be damaging. Charlie Kirk is overtly and openly a public figure, and people look into his schedule all the time because they want to know where he is, because they want to go meet him in person and talk to him, either positive or negative. That was the thing with Charlie Kirk. And I know his lawyer isn't going to bring it up, and it's so frustrating. It's like, Charlie Kirk's a good example. Charlie Kirk's a public figure. People were always curious about where he lived. People said really horrible things about Charlie Kirk all the time. But what it took was one legitimately crazy person who wasn't we don't have any facts that I'm aware of that Tyler Robinson was particularly influenced by some particular speech about Charlie Kirk, like some particularized statement from someone. Now, generally, he didn't seem to like Charlie Kirk or his political positions, but those political positions are criticized by half the country. This isn't a weird thing. And it's not, you got to show where he was influenced by the one person who actually had the answers and decided, and why no one else did it. Tyler Robinson, if he's guilty, is the insane outlier. This should be this should be a self-defeating argument, but this guy's got to bring it to the judge and show her why, no, actually everything that guy said, we actually agree with a lot of it, but here's why. Here's what he actually meant. He mischaracterized what was happening. Won't.
Things on YouTube. I don't anymore. But the governor of Utah came forward and did this interview with 60 Minutes, and he did such a good job explaining that, social media attacks, it is a First Amendment thing to a point, and then it becomes too much, and it becomes scary. And in that case with Charlie Kirk, he sort of was.
Your Honor, we have the Miller test for obscenity. Where is the Supreme Court laid out the social media becomes too much test? We would like to know. Is that a bright line rule?
Yeah, I would have liked to have heard that. I would have liked to have heard him argue this, but he doesn't.
No, of course not. He doesn't do anything. He's completely useless.
A very high-level public figure, and he said some things, somebody didn't like it, and they killed him. And the governor of Utah was making this impassioned plea on 60 Minutes to turn the temperature down. Stop harassing people and threatening people and riling people up. And I think, again, Laura's going through an extremely difficult time in her life dealing with a criminal case. Anybody would be,
because she committed crimes,
having a hard time with that. And she understands.
She shouldn't have done that.
I raw dog you.
What?
Says, if you're trying to find out where I am and you hate me, my conclusion is you want to find me and do something to me. Possibly, but how do you know that someone hates you who's trying to find you? That, again, these are the type of circumstances where a true threat can manifest. Like if Megan knows some people who hate her, and if they're trying to find her, yeah, she could draw that conclusion. But there's no indication that these people hate her.
Well,
Right.
and also we know why he was trying to why they were trying to find her. And it's because she was claiming to be leaving town. She had put in a request to leave Arizona to go to California, claiming that she was going for a sick relative or some kind of nonsense. But when Laura does this, everyone always thinks there must be a horse show because that's what she normally does. So that's the reason. It wasn't to harm her, or just to bust her in another lie. So that's why they were checking horse shows in California around the same time that she was requesting to leave the state. It's perfectly reasonable, and there's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Yep, 100%.
The criticism is part of that. She doesn't object to that. But talking about having her be raped in prison, having Mr. Andreev say that he wants to sit on a plane next to her and join.
Again, mischaracter. Talking about having her be raped in prison. No one said they wanted to have her raped in prison. That's not real. And object to this. Your Honor, this is a mischaracterization of the facts.
Well, he's not going to object.
No, I know.
He's going to let it keep. Terrible lawyer. Look at him. He's got his hand on his face like he's thinking about the score of the baseball game or something. Like what? I don't even think he's listening.
And it's crazy because the testimony wasn't we need to have her raped in prison. The testimony was some prison guard will rape her in prison, or someone will rape her in prison. She'll get pregnant. This is actually a very obvious dark joke because she most likely wouldn't be, most likely would have female CO for one. They try to have female COs in female prisons, but two, the idea would be that she would be raped by someone who couldn't get her pregnant, but she would end up pregnant anyway because of all of her allegations of getting pregnant. Like that's the joke. That's where it comes from. Very frustrating.
In the Mile High Club. Well, I will tell you that before I joined the having her be raped in prison, having Mr. Andreev say that he wants to sit on a plane next to her and join the Mile High Club.
It is not illegal or threatening to express a desire to engage in sexual activity with someone. However, that's not what he did. He said she would probably want him to join the mile, like would make him join the Mile High Club. He was saying she would do it to him. It was, again, complete mischaracterization of the facts. And this is a problem. And I barely know this case. I've watched a YouTube video about it. This guy's been sitting in court after allegedly studying and preparing for all this. He should be catching all of these things and more, but nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I will tell you that before I did my brief in this case, I went and read I went on Westlaw and I got the injunction against harassment statute. I read every single case, every single annotated case I read. I did not find a single case that was as offensive as what I've heard in this case or as scary. People have been sent to prison.
I doubt that.
That's bullshit there.
I doubt that very much. Can you prove that, counselor? Let's see those cases.
Because again, what was so offensive and so scary?
The weird voice mod, the scary voice. Remember?
It's crazy. She'll probably get raped in prison. Bad taste joke, sure, but no one gets to rate taste of jokes in court. Jokes are jokes.
For much, much less than what we've heard today. And so I love the First Amendment. I respect the First Amendment. When you get this dirty, you lose the First Amendment rights at some level. It's sort of like a Second Amendment thing. You have a right to have a gun. Mentally ill people aren't allowed that right.
This is crazy. You lose your First Amendment rights? Literally never. You don't ever lose your First Amendment rights, as he's stating. He's saying like mentally ill people, they don't get to have a gun. This person doesn't get to have First Amendment rights. That's fucking ludicrous. Yes, Your Honor, misstatement.
Welcome to Gingras 101.
Misstatement of everything. I'm going to clip out this closing argument and I'm going to send it to Randazza. Or I'm going to make him sit on a phone call with me. I'm going to say, hey, Mark, We're gonna listen to this. We're gonna listen to this together. I want you to.
You should, because it's
know.
bad. It's bad.
It's actually
so-called First Amendment lawyer. Bullshit.
There's actually something really interesting about that, like legally, really interesting about this, that I'll talk to you about in private.
Okay. Can't wait.
It's amazing. The fact that Gingras delivered this argument is unreal.
Yeah.
While having Marcus his attorney. Let me just say, like, because there may be an obligation for Gingras to not deliver arguments like this.
Oh boy.
Right. Mentally ill people can't have a gun at all. And based on what I've heard, I don't see any problem with the court restricting Mr. Andreev in the way that it already has. So you should affirm the order. I would actually ask that you expand it. I would want an additional proximity limit where he's not allowed to come within 500 feet of her. I would actually ask the court to
I want a ball gag put in his mouth.
Hearings. I found out.
He just said he would make that to specifically include court hearings.
Yeah.
On what basis? What basis?
He doesn't get that.
No, because it's crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I have experience in this. The person who took the harassment restraining order against me was trying to prevent me from showing up at a hearing, a specific hearing. That's one of the reasons he took it out. The problem is, I kind of know the victim of the crime who is allowed to be in court. He was trying to take away his victim's support specifically because he's a piece of shit.
Yesterday, unbeknownst to me, in her criminal case, Laura's criminal defense lawyer filed a request for her to appear virtually at a case management conference coming up because of Mr. Andreev, because he's attended every hearing, and we're dealing with this scary content that he's put out there.
Well, her defense lawyer filed something. Who cares? Who cares that her defense lawyer filed something? That doesn't... of course, her defense lawyer advocated in her, like for her client, but that doesn't mean that Andreev's behavior was inappropriate. She testified that the only thing he did at the hearing was hold the door for her and say hello. Like, that's nuts to be bringing this up as like, well, he should be enjoined from being in the courtroom.
So Laura's explained to the court she doesn't even feel safe coming to court because of him. That's unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. So I would ask the court to affirm the order and add a proximity restriction that includes he can't go to court hearings. He can watch them virtually. He can read a transcript. He can watch it on YouTube. He should not come to court and scare her anymore. Obviously, we're asking for fees.
I love this. This lawyer is still 10 times better than Nick's and 100 times better than Nick. You can say what you want about my lawyer. He has not produced the most favorable results. And, I may not even disagree with you. But I will disagree with you saying that this lawyer is quote unquote 100 times better than me. Probably 1,000 or 2,000 times better than me. But it depends what you're saying he's better than me at, because it's not delivering argument.
It's obviously in the court's discretion. I don't believe we should have even had to come down here today. There's no dispute that these comments were made. He submitted paperwork to the court.
We shouldn't even have to be here. I love that argument.
There was a bad...
We shouldn't have even had to be here today. You should have just granted it. Just grant everything we want without this guy even getting to defend himself. We shouldn't even have to come to court. You should just drag him away in the middle of the night, lock him up in a dark hole, and beat him for the rest of his life, Your Honor.
Yeah. That's how they think. Like, can't believe they would even defend themselves. Like, why would you even think that they should do that?
Adverse ruling, which we are dealing with, and I don't agree with. I understand judges make rulings, and I respect them always, but I don't always agree with them. There was an adverse finding about her doing some things in the other case. She hasn't done anything in this case but tell the truth. And he hasn't even challenged a word that she said as far as, what he's accused of doing. So
this, I raw dogged you says, I will be clear I'm not on her side, but broadcasting locations and trying to find someone like that, it could be dangerous. Again, if I'm not mistaken, that was also, it was a super chat, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a super chat that came in, and he read it. He read the super chat.
And he did comment on it and saying, yeah, that's a good idea. We'd see if she's at the horse shows. And the only reason for it, it wasn't to find her and harm her. It was to bust her in another lie. That's it. That's it. The context matters.
There was no call to broadcast her location that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. And also, listen, this is a reason why every streamer who talks about anything should always put out there. And whenever I read super chats like that, I always say, nope, bad idea. Don't ever do anything. Don't contact anybody. Don't call anybody unless they're an elected representative. I give you no permission to call anybody and do anything. Leave people alone, period. And some of the, Rob's a new streamer. He didn't learn his lesson until now. I'm sure going forward, he will say to people, do not contact anyone we talk about. This is not, it's not an, everybody gets to, it's not a petting zoo. We're not, everyone is not invited to enter a story.
Yeah. Raw Dog Juice says, but how many crazy people are out there, And here's the thing. If they're crazy, that defeats the argument. If they're crazy and they act outside of reasonableness, you can't be held responsible for what they do. Specifically can't, because you can't predict how a crazy person will react to something. It's by definition impossible. So you never know how many crazy people are out there. Look, you can say, I like grilled cheese sandwiches, and some crazy person can want to murder your stepsister. Like that, what? You can't do anything about that. That's just how crazy people are. They're insane. They don't operate in the same reality as the rest of us. So it doesn't work that way. You can't just say there might be someone out there somewhere who takes something the wrong way and does something bad. Because that's true of literally everything you do in every part of your life. All the time, for everybody. So you can't rely on crazy people. Almost
and you can't hold streamers responsible for the things that the audience might do. It's not okay unless that streamer is specifically calling for a specific action. And there have been cases like that.
Yeah, of course.
Where some YouTuber does call for someone to be harassed. In this case, even in this so-called impersonation thing, that is not what he was doing. They were simply trying to bust a lie that she said she was going to be one place and they thought she might be somewhere else. That's it. No one was trying to find her. No one was trying to, show up where she was and do any harm to her in any way. It was just trying to figure out, did she lie to the court again?
And if I say people should call every grocery store and see if Megan Fox is there, one, that's kind of ridiculous. Two, that's not harassing. It just isn't harassing behavior. If I find out
more harassing to the grocery store than it is to me.
If I find out what grocery store Megan Fox is at, and I tell everybody to call that grocery store and ask them to announce for Megan Fox to come over the intercom or whatever, that would be harassing. That's a different thing entirely.
Shouldn't have had to come down here. He should have to pay for that time. So I'd ask for the award of fees. Your Honor, I also made a request for a criminal referral. That's up to you. I understand.
He wants him referred for criminal prosecution.
I accused Mr.
I believe in the First Amendment. This guy should go to prison forever.
Of perjury. I think what he did was perjury. I understand, and there's a case called Braunston versus the United States. It's a U.S. Supreme Court case that deals with you can't be charged in federal court with perjury if you said something that's literally true, but it's really.
I'll replay. I know. I'll replay it just a second. It's supposed to be movie, not move, but here we go.
I used to think the nose cam was a good idea, but seeing it now give me 1960s kaiju move vibes.
You people brought this upon yourself. You created this demon. All right, there we go. Why did it change my thing? Here we go. Back to it. Oh, somehow you got demoted. This is way funnier.
It is funnier.
Moving on up.
Somebody said they want an explanation for the nose cam. The nose cam needs no explanation.
Yeah, I mean, how could you, what would you need explained?
What more than nose cam do you need as an explanation?
SFAKASF says, if they start holding streamers responsible, they need to hold mainstream media responsible for ramping people up over different things. Fair is fair. Yeah, and of course, the mainstream media does stuff like the horse thing all the time. Like, you know, they'll sort of dog whistle it out. Well, we wonder where they are. Who knows where and people are encouraged to do whatever there. I won't leave you minimized forever. It was fun.
It's all right. I don't mind taking second chair to the nose.
You said it.
I get what their argument was, that he was denying making a statement in video 272, but actually he knew that it was 273. That's up to the court. If you want to make a criminal referral, I just want this to stop. We should not have to deal with this. And
wait a minute. So the criminal referral for perjury that he's trying to make is because the guy said, you said that I said this in this video, but I didn't. Yep. And he's saying, well, he knew he said it in another video. Too fucking bad. That's not perjury. Nope. I didn't say it in this video. And it does matter. It really does matter because the context of the rest of the video impacts what that statement. Right? Like, so again, this is that rule of completeness that he was talking about. But if I say a line in this video versus saying it in a completely different video, that could mean the whole world. And it's the rest of the context of the rest of the video that frames what that statement means, for better or worse for him. But it is not perjury to say, in that video, I didn't say that. In that video at that timestamp that you're representing to the court where I did this, I didn't do it. And it's up to them to fix it. Well, he knew it was a different video. Too fucking bad. That's your job, not his.
The fact that we're even talking about this, it's just inappropriate. So affirm the order, expand it.
Isn't that what court is for, to talk about these issues? Yeah. How dare he say the fact that we're even talking about this? Sir, you're a lawyer. Your whole job is to argue the shit.
To talk about what the issues are that your client raised. By the way,
the fact
your
that I
client
even have to come in here and do my job is unbelievable, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about the legal side? I've cited the case law for you. There's no argument from their side that harassment is protected speech. It's not. Because harassment is a different thing. When you terrify somebody, when you do what the type of things that we've seen here, that's just outside the First Amendment. So there's not a legal issue in that regard.
All right, thank you. And from defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. This case is not at all the open and shut case of harassment that plaintiff and her counsel would have you believe. This is about a defendant in a high-profile criminal case trying to silence an online critic. You heard her counsel ask for an order that would prohibit Mr. Andreev from exercising his First Amendment protected right to attend public proceedings in a criminal case. You heard her testify that he has never, ever communicated directly with her. The only thing that he might have said to her is maybe hello when they passed each other in the context of a court hearing. He hasn't been intimidating her via appearing at court hearings. You know, counsel.
Man, that just fluttered out, didn't it? Like, he hasn't been threatening her. He hasn't been communicating with her. You know, counsel. Sriv says you are literally Jaws swimming backwards. Oh, yes. That's true.
says vigorously in his papers as well that the First Amendment does not protect harassment. Of course it doesn't. We don't argue with that. But what you have here is not harassment.
Also, harassment just isn't speech. So it's a superfluous statement. Harassment isn't speech. So no, the First Amendment is unconcerned with it.
As we've shown in our papers, Ms. Owens cannot prove, and she has not met her burden of proof here, to prove 3 out of 4 of the essential elements of harassment. Mr. Andreev's comments were not directed at her. Mr. Andreev's commentary about her court cases has a legitimate purpose because it is fully protected by the First Amendment as speech about issues of public concern.
Plebis Maximus says the nose is so large it causes camera lag when it moves fast. It can't take all the gigabytes and gigabytes of nose. It doesn't know what to do. This guy's argument is nothing. I'm going to back it up just a second because I was listening to what he said before I got distracted, but it's just, he's like, okay.
Ms. Owens cannot prove, and she has not met her burden of proof here, to prove 3 out of 4 of the essential elements of harassment. Mr. Andreev's comments were not directed at her. Mr. Andreev's commentary about her court cases has a legitimate purpose because it is fully protected by the First Amendment as speech about issues of public concern. And none of the comments Ms. Owens identified or presented to the court today would cause a reasonable person to feel harassed or threatened.
Exactly.
If we're able to...
That's the first good thing he said, that third point. The other 2 points, be terrified. Feel like Godzilla, like, with fire coming out. The other 2 points he made, he's like, well, it doesn't meet 3 of the 4 elements. Tell us what the elements are. Tell the judge what the element is. And the judge doesn't need to know. She's got it, maybe got the statute pulled up or the case law, whatever. Tell her anyway. Hammer home how this doesn't match up. Her burden, Your Honor, from a preliminary matter is to show this. She doesn't show it. And now after a hearing, she still can't show it. This order was never meant to be. This order was granted out of an abundance of precaution, as these HROs are often granted just to make sure that protection is done on a preliminary basis. But once they're challenged, we need to start putting them to an actual litmus test. And she fails, Your Honor, because she doesn't provide these elements. This element is not satisfied. Even under a favorable reading of her alleged evidence, she claims this. That doesn't satisfy the element. We know it doesn't satisfy the element, and there's actually case law on this, Your Honor. Why doesn't he do any of this? Nothing. No preparation, no game, no swagger, and certainly no charisma.
Nope.
Also, gross.
To have injunctions against harassment because somebody said mean things about somebody else on the internet, we'd have to have injunctions against half the people against the other half of the people.
No, but see, again, I even agree with this guy, and it's a bad argument. Some people are harassed and don't request a restraining order. So no, we wouldn't. Like, why are you saying, well, we'd have to have half the people having her? No, what are you talking about? First of all, like, those numbers are clearly pulled out of your ass. They're also irrelevant. It doesn't matter if no one on earth has a restraining order. If this one's valid, it's valid. This comparative analysis on restraining orders pisses me off. Lawyers are stupid.
It is not against the First Amendment and is not against the law to say mean things about someone on the internet. It's not against the law. It's not harassment to use crude and vulgar language.
It's not against the harassment? Is that what he said?
No, he said it's not against the law wait, I think he said law.
Well, we're going back to the tape.
It is not against the First Amendment and is not against the law to say mean things about someone on the internet. It's not against the law. It's not harassment.
It's not harassment.
It's not harassment. But he did say it's not against the First Amendment to say mean things on the internet, which is a weird thing to say. Like, it's not against the First Amendment. What? What are you talking about? Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking so dumb?
To use crude and vulgar language about somebody else.
Oh, thanks.
Certainly, Mr. Andreev has strong opinions about Ms. Owens, including that she has misused the courts to unjustly persecute her perceived enemies. You heard that in Exhibit 5.
Oh, thanks. Good.
And, unfortunately, Your Honor, she's doing it again. She's doing it to him. He criticized.
Unfortunately, he never established that she did it to anybody else. She should have, but he should have, but he didn't. So
does this guy have any conviction in his body at all? Like,
no.
He's like, well, like, that's what we have going on, like over here. Maybe.
It would have been really helpful if he had mentioned she filed one of these against another reporter named Dave Neal, and that judge threw it out because there was First Amendment issues, First Amendment concerns. That judge wasn't having any of it, and you shouldn't have any of it either, because this is what she does: takes out harassment orders against people who talk about her case in a way she doesn't like. Period.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that.
No, he's not doing it. He's like, well, we had that going on over here. What are these hand motions? Get in the triangle, buddy. Get him out there. Watch Trump.
Yeah, what is he doing? What is this?
Very big things, wonderful things going on. Get your hands dynamically away from your body. Take a speech class. He doesn't have any
dynamic anything, okay? There's nothing dynamic about this guy in any way.
He needs a dynamic peanut butter spreader for all the sandwiches he needs to cry into. God, I'm hungry for a sandwich.
Her for what he believes is her misuse of the court system. Now she's doing it against him. As Your Honor knows, the elements of harassment under ARS 12-1809T are that it is, 1, directed at a specific person, 2, that it would cause a reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, 3, that it actually caused the victims to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, and 4, serve no legitimate purpose.
So the way you conduct, you do legal drafting, and also kind of the way you conduct legal argument is a system called IRAC. And no, that's not the country with the WMDs. It's IRAC, which is introduction, rule, argument, conclusion. Kind of like you did your 3-body paragraph or your 3-body paragraph layout back in high school or whatever, where they teach you that all papers can be written in less than 500 words. But anyway, where you have that intro, body, conclusion. This is the same type of thing. It's a very formulaic way for lawyers to deliver argument. He didn't do that here, and he really should have, because he's not creative enough to deviate. Rules are there to be broken by creative, smart people, and he's not one of them. But what he should have done is started like this. Your Honor, this is an obviously frivolous restraining order meant to suppress free speech. That's your intro. That's all he really needs here. The rule. 4 elements that need to be proven. And he should have gone through the 4 elements then. And then he says, now I'm going to tell you how each one of these elements has not been fulfilled. Except for the one gimme. He said 3 out of 4 in his earlier statements. Why he didn't do this. We had this weird meandering beginning of this. And this is what matters. Does this satisfy the rule? He doesn't even need a narrative structure for what's going on, because the narrative is, this is a frivolous HRO meant to suppress free speech. And we know that because there's elements here that have to be satisfied to make it harassment. And she doesn't do it, Your Honor. That's it. It's that simple. This isn't about all of this bullying and some greater purpose about when we cross the line and some valiant defense or whatever to the First Amendment. This is simply about she doesn't fulfill the statute, so no order should be at issue because my client's rights are being suppressed by an order that is invalid and unconstitutional. That's it. Like that's the whole thing. There's no narrative structure that needs to be here. We don't need to know about like all this medical stuff, and that's in the record. Cool. And you can get to it later, but hit the fucking rules and just say she doesn't satisfy him, Your Honor. And for this reason, it should be thrown out. And then now the next element when you get done. And for this reason, it should be thrown out. And when you get to the third element, And again, for this reason, it should be thrown out. Any one of these, Your Honor, she's insufficient on, and she doesn't get an order. She's insufficient on 3 out of the 4 grounds. Why are we even here?
Yep.
That should be it. And we should be able to recite what these are.
And instead of him using that argument, it was Gingras. Why are we even here?
And the thing is, we should know what those elements are by the end of his speech. I directed a specific person. I think I remember that one. But I don't remember what else he said. He has no engagement, and he's not anchoring it to the facts of the case.
Nope.
Taking the 4th element first, and notably in his presentation, Mr. Gingrich didn't mention that particular element. But as we explained in our papers, Mr. Andreev's speech here is commentary about issues of public concern that has the highest protection under the First Amendment. The U.S. Supreme Court held in Snyder versus Phelps that vulgar speech that causes emotional distress, speech that is really reprehensible, cannot be punished if it is speech about an issue of public concern that is not otherwise a true threat or true harassment.
Holy shit. Like, that was that is the most meandering description I could imagine making. Like, that was nuts. We didn't learn anything from it.
They're supposed to be the free speech attorneys in Arizona. God help Arizona.
But that was nutty. Like, what the fuck did we... I have to go back and listen to it again.
I learned nothing.
I'm gonna get back to this point.
We are all dumber for having heard this.
And then we're gonna discuss it real quick. But like, this was...
For serve no legitimate purpose. So
the 4th element, which he says, taking the 4th element first, for some reason, is serving no legitimate purpose, which is... He needs to just say it's newsworthy. Like, he just needs to say it's newsworthy. He doesn't have to keep saying it in this roundabout way. It's a matter of public concern. It's newsworthy, Your Honor. It's in the news.
Yep.
It's in the major media news. This is on CNN, Your Honor.
You know, he should have just read from the Daily Mail about the blowjob story. That would have been hilarious. Like, this is kind of offensive. I mean...
So here we go. I want to hear this... So this is about no legitimate purpose is the 4th element, which is taken, by the way, from the Miller obscenity test from the Supreme Court. When assessing obscenity, the Supreme Court has to determine that there is no legitimate purpose for the otherwise obscene speech. And so that structure that was used for obscenity is, of course, applied to other areas of speech as well, which is why we have it here in like the harassment/threat context. But the legitimate purpose is so broad and protective, like having a legitimate purpose is really easy. Any artistic value. He's telling jokes. He's doing performance work about this news story. News is also a legitimate purpose, but legitimate creative purposes protect you in obscenity. That's why pornography exists, because a stepsister somewhere needs to get out of a washing machine. You need to save her.
First. And notably in his presentation, Mr. Gingrich didn't mention that particular element. But as we explained in our papers, Mr. Andreev's speech here is commentary about issues of public concern that has the highest protection under the First Amendment. The U.S. Supreme Court held in Snyder versus Phelps that vulgar speech that causes emotional distress, speech that is really reprehensible, cannot be punished if it is speech about an issue of public concern that is not otherwise a true threat or true horror.
His argument and description has appendices to like built in. He's sitting here like, well, that doesn't otherwise. There are, of course, a couple caveats and blah blah blah. What are we doing here? This is also irrelevant, Your Honor. This is a matter of public concern. This has legitimate value. That right there defeats the 4th That alone defeats the fourth requirement of here, the fourth element. And they didn't address it, Your Honor. He hasn't, there's no testimony about how this is illegitimate in any way. We have tons of testimony about how it's legitimate concern. My own client got up here and talked about how he found out about this story, was interested in following the story. People want to hear about the story. He compiled a playlist for people to have access to all of the information they could about this story. Why didn't he frame it that way? Why didn't he do it? But instead he's like, well, unless there's a true threat, blah, 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 blah. Stop it.
Harassment. Mr. Andreev's speech serves a legitimate purpose. So it's not harassment as a matter of law. To the first element, Mr. Andreev's commentary is not directed at Ms. Owens. He posted on the YouTube for the world to see.
He almost said worldwide internet.
He posted on the world on the YouTube for the world to see. Yeah. Okay. All right, bud. Tell me more about it. They have cell phones now.
This guy's a boomer.
But he's right here. And again, this is the first element. Why is he going in not even reverse order? Fourth element, now first element. This is one of the strongest claims that he has. Your Honor, it is not harassment to speak about something to a crowd, to a local crowd in a library, or to an online crowd of dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people. Because speaking our voices is the most protected activity ever. And having people have the choice to come listen to it is the most protected and valued exercise of speech that our founders ever imagined. It is akin to the public square and a man sitting up on a soapbox and letting the crowd gather because the words are so compelling. If people are watching, it's because they're interested. And that is it, Your Honor. That's all we need to know about this. This is directed to whomever wants to listen. And the fact that Miss Owens chose voluntarily to seek this out and listen is certainly within her rights. But it's also up to her to deal with how she felt about that issue. My client in no way invited Miss Owens to this content and certainly did not force it upon her. Again, why don't we have any conviction in what he's saying? And why don't we have any analogy? Like, Gingras literally said talking to the internet is different than talking to a local crowd, which is crazy.
Crazy.
It's not communicated it directly to Ms. Owens. She had to go out looking for it. He didn't direct it to her. She had to go look for it. It's about her, sure, but it's not directed at her. And let's talk about
like he's directing
the case
air
law
traffic.
His biggest hand gestures are behind him. Isn't that wild? Like where his hands go behind him. That's where his biggest gestures are. Buddy, are you on a 2D surface? Like, come on.
Although this is his strongest argument, that he never contacted her.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a pretty important one. There are ways of indirect contact, but he should just say, Your Honor, they had every opportunity to raise evidence of intentional indirect contact where my client would have, as you know, Your Honor, that would involve conduct which my client intended and knew or should have known would be received by the other person and was intended to be received by the other person. They have no evidence of that, Your Honor. They have not brought that into this case in any capacity. Again, the only time that we find out that she has seen any of this content is when she said she went out and looked for it herself. Not by the actions of my client.
Counsel has cited. LaFaro, I don't read LaFaro as saying that speech to a crowd isn't harassment because it's ephemeral. The holding in LaFaro was that when someone makes a comment to another person or a crowd of persons that the plaintiff simply happens to overhear, that is not directed at the plaintiff, and therefore it does not qualify as harassment. Now, the three cases that counsel cited in his briefing, the one presidential case and the two non-presidential ones, they all involve cases where the defendant actually did direct speech towards the victims in those cases. In the one presidential case, I apologize, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it involved two people who were divorced.
The one case I want to talk about, I apologize, I don't remember what it was though. What are you doing? What do you mean you don't remember the name of the case? It's in your fucking clothes.
Spouses who both had worked at APS. The ex-wife contacted the ex-husband's co-workers at APS, saying bad things about her ex-husband, urging them to contact her, urging them to knock some sense into him. That is obviously speech that is directed at that person because they were directly contacting people in his life, his coworkers. One of
by the way, no, that was a weird statement. Well, that was clearly directed at him because they contacted everybody but him. Well, no, like that's not it. It's more than just that. It's more than just contacting someone knows. That's not the only thing. But there was a direct call to action for people that he knew. Yes, but like he just said it so weirdly there.
The non-presidential cases, I believe it was the Snyder case. The defendant in that case also directed social media statements about the victim to her coworkers, to her clients, to her former employer. That defendant actually recorded a video of himself outside of the victim's place of employment and sent it to her clients and former coworkers. Obviously, that's directed at the victim. That's not what Mr. Andreev did here. In the Williams case, the other case that he cites, that was a case where a photographer apparently became obsessed with a model. In that case, the comments that the defendant in that case made were tagged directly to the victim. In other words, the defendant in that case sent his comments, some of them, directly to the victim. That's not what we have in this case.
Holy shit. Your Honor, we have 3 cases cited in the brief. And I want to just briefly point out that all of those cases involve direct contact with either the victim or people very close to the victim. And in the instances where the contact was people very close to the victim, it was with the further direction to contact the victim, to let them know. All of these cases involve a direct known target of the victim, and the communication is intended to get to them to make them feel apprehensive and harassed. That didn't happen here, Your Honor. We don't need to go through each case individually, but you have all the citations you need. Move on. It didn't happen. That's it. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. Didn't happen.
And
he's so
Your Honor, the requirements that the speech be directed at the plaintiff and that it have no
circling back
purpose,
like Jen Psaki.
They serve the purpose of protecting First Amendment speech. The Supreme Court has been very clear that the First Amendment protects a robust and vibrant and sometimes difficult and emotionally hurtful national debate.
Emotionally hurtful.
Your Honor, in Brandenburg versus Ohio, neo-Nazis got together with the Klan and said, hang the blacks in public. And the Supreme Court said, that's okay, because there weren't any blacks around to hang at the time. That's the Supreme Court's willingness to extend protection to offensive speech. Your Honor, my client didn't even suggest that Miss Laura Owens be hung. How can we possibly say that his personal speech, where she's not around to personally hear it, or be a target or accosted by anybody goes further than the racists and the neo-Nazis gathering together to create Captain Racism in Brandenburg versus Ohio. How on earth can we suggest that this speech that talks about her case and her actions and her criminal past is more offensive than the overt calls for death that were protected by the Supreme Court? How do we do that, Your Honor? How do we do that and keep a straight fucking face here? What are we talking about?
But we have to give that breathing room for that kind of, rollicking and at times unpleasant, at times vulgar kind of speech, so we can have the kind of robust and wide open.
I do apologize for saying hung. I meant hanged.
National debate that the First Amendment is designed to protect, and that's what's at issue here, Your Honor. Going to the second element, Ms. Owens has not met her burden of proof to show that the speech would cause a reasonable person to feel harassed. Yes, he used vulgar language. Yes, he expressed the opinion that she's guilty and should go to prison. Yes, he expressed his view that she's misled multiple courts. But no reasonable person would consider that to be harassment. And as plaintiff's counsel said, in response to Mr. Andreev's motion to quash, Ms. Owens went nuclear. Her response brief falsely accuses Mr. Andreev of committing multiple felonies, including perjury and felony harassment. It's just not true, and it's not true.
What are you doing? What is the response brief being brought up here? Like, response briefs are privileged. So, like, oh, she said a bunch of false stuff about him in the response brief. Okay, they're privileged, though. Like, move on, counsel. What are we talking about? This isn't about the response brief. It's about whether or not she needs an order for protection. Why are we here? These guys lose the fucking plot all the time. Why are you in this room? Why are we in the courtroom right now?
Based on what is the content of the reply brief, of the response brief itself. She accuses him of violating the injunction, likening it to one of those cases in which a defendant posted online a image of the protective order in that case that included the victim's address. Here, as Ms. Owens testified, what he posted online didn't include her address. The injunction did not prevent him from talking about the injunction. The injunction, despite what she may believe, did not prevent him from talking about Ms. Owens. And he didn't violate the injunction in any manner whatsoever. And she also accuses my client of perjury for what he said.
Why isn't this judge saying, can you move on from the response brief? Like, the briefs are not evidence. And they're privileged.
I don't know. To me, it sounds like he's worried she's going to refer Rob for prosecution for perjury. It's like,
but closing argument isn't where to deal with that.
That's never going to happen. First of all, I mean, it's just ridiculous because what was said wasn't untrue. They did fuck up.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he's bringing it up.
He's trying to show that she's like unhinged and vindictive or whatever. It's like just do that with the testimony. What are you talking about?
In his original declaration. And as you saw, Your Honor, what he said in his original declaration is absolutely 100% true. The statements she attributes to video 272 do not appear anywhere in the transcript of video 272. That's what he said in his declaration,
That's what he
and
said.
that is absolutely true. And it is, quite frankly, offensive that she would accuse him of perjury, of a crime, of deliberately lying to this court, when what he said was precisely, absolutely true.
This should have been in response to their response, in your fucking response to their motion answer. Relatively Objective says, yo, Nick, you're still up to keep me company during this late night work project. Got a 30-second recap for those of us late and gay to the party. This is the same hearing. We're near the end. Same hearing we were listening to a couple days ago. This twig woman down here, this skeletal female, is Laura Owens. She is taking out a harassment restraining order against this guy. His lawyer is this ponytailed weirdo, and he sucks. That's about all you need to know, honestly, to catch up. Welcome.
It is her burden of proof here. If she makes a mistake in her petition, she can certainly correct it. He made a mistake in his original declaration. He corrected it in candor to this court. He didn't have to, but he did because he wanted to make sure that the becourt had the facts.
Cool. What does this have to do with her being granted a restraining order?
Petition is baseless. It's meant to try to shut up a critic who makes public statements about the issue of public concern being her court cases. And Your Honor, we would ask that you award us our attorney's fees and take into account
a little hasty there, bud.
False accusations against my clients of felony conduct. Thank you.
That was it.
You asked to be awarded your attorney's fees. You haven't won yet, homie. And he doesn't.
Nope.
So is there anything after this that's of worth?
No.
Okay, I didn't think
No,
so.
I want you to see the order from the judge because you're going to really get mad about that.
Sounds good.
Do you have it?
Yep, I do. The injunction against harassment.
No. Well, I don't know what it's called. It's called under advisement ruling or something like that.
Okay, I gotta find where I put these things.
Do you need me to get it for you?
No, I have them. Just chill out.
I'm sorry. The 2 late nights this week are getting to me. My eyes are watering now.
That's because you're looking at
yawning
this magnificent
involuntarily.
nose. That's why.
I'm yawning involuntarily.
Okay, I have a... Okay, there's my Laura Owens folder.
I think it's called under advisement something.
Yeah, under advisement ruling.
Mm-hmm. It's unreal.
Shit.
It's unreal how bad it is.
Okay, open with...
And it's really too bad that Rob couldn't afford to appeal it because it's an absolutely appealable ruling.
We certainly couldn't afford to appeal it at the rates that this guy was charging. Holy shit. $30,000. No, don't do that. Go away. What is this? I don't want this. Piss off.
God, I don't know why I can't find headphones that don't hurt my ears. I can't do the inside the ear ones; those hurt.
Well,
but now
that's
the
because
outside the ones do too.
You got to get custom inside the ear ones.
It's so
like
annoying.
I have. These. See, they even have a little Ricada Law logo on them.
Uh-huh.
No, you got to get those because they take a mold of your ear and they make them to fit. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know. I need lots of things. But the government took most of my paycheck this year, so.
They'll do that. They will do that. Okay, let me just pull up the correct.
He does have a GoFundMe chat. I'll drop it if I can find it. It's a Give, Send, Go.
I'm trying to find the right layout for this. I guess
And normally the Laura Owens, the community that follows this, the Justice for Clayton community would have raised it for anyone else. But for Rob, for some reason, they decided that he's a very bad, no good person for saying a couple of bad jokes and they're not going to support him. And that is unfortunate because he did tell some bad jokes, but they're also protected. And this woman is one of the most evil women we've ever seen, telling lies about people and using the court as a weapon.
All right, so here we go. Here's the ruling from the judge. This is 4 pages, so we should be able to get through. We should be able to get through this quick.
We hope.
all little fucking pop-ups on everything for AI everything now are pissing me off. Like, ask AI assistant, and then like shit pops up all over the place. At the request of defendant Andreev, an evidentiary hearing was conducted on February 20th where defendant Andreev sought to quash an injunction against harassment issued on January 20th. So February 20th versus January 20th in favor of plaintiff Owens. Defendant Andreev did not present any evidence during the hearing, though. Through counsel, he cross-examined plaintiff. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I guess he didn't go up and he didn't get on the stand, which is kind of weird. Why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
Plaintiff was the only witness that testified. The parties stipulated that plaintiff was a litigant in a separate matter involving a person that appeared on The Bachelor, a television series. The parties agree that the resolution in that case was not in plaintiff Owens' favor and that a minute entry was issued by the assigned judge presiding over the proceedings. The minute entry contained findings that the judge was concerned plaintiff Owens presented false or misleading information to the court. As a result of defendant foregoing the presentation of evidence, it is uncontested that defendant controls a YouTube channel that contains a catalog of approximately 1,300 or so videos that focus on plaintiff Owens. See? Amazing, because that's not actually true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not actually a true statement, but because he didn't offer the evidence, it's now uncontested. Defendant created 300 to 400 of the videos. It is also uncontested that defendant made the statements that were presented via video at the hearing. While defense counsel asserted that the portions of the videos played lacked context, the defense did not provide further context. There is no doubt that free speech is protected under the Arizona and United States Constitution. There's some doubt about that. Defendant argues his conduct is protected in full, but Arizona courts have acknowledged that speech consisting of epithets or abuse of a person is not communication or information that is constitutionally protected. This is an insane ruling, by the way. If that's what that ruling stands for, that's completely incorrect. Also, quoting Cantwell versus Connecticut from 1940, Brandenburg would be challenging this ruling. Brandenburg's 1954. It would be happening afterwards. But but the protection of citizens from harassment, a legitimate and laudable goal, is not incompatible with the protection and exercise of free speech, especially with common sense interpretation of the statute. That's quoting LaFaro versus Cahill, which was talked about here. Arizona revised statutes defines harassment as a series of acts over any period of time that is directed at a specific person and that would cause a reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, and the conduct, in fact, seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses the person and serves no legitimate purpose. So this is what he's saying. They talked about the reasonable person standard directed at a specific person and that it serves no legitimate purpose. They went after those three elements, but they didn't introduce any evidence about it because they didn't call their own witness. While this court appropriately takes individuals' First Amendment protections very seriously, the court finds that the circumstances presented in this case in totality are harassment. The evidence presented is that defendant maintains a YouTube channel containing or cataloging around 1,300 videos about plaintiff. Again, how is this harassment? This isn't harassing behavior at all. Defendant has approximately 1,200 subscribers to his YouTube.com channel. However, based on the testimony presented by plaintiff, the videos are accessible to anyone on the internet, not just those that subscribe to the channel. Well, that's crazy. That's wild. Oh my God, how dangerous. That's...
Again, so far, everything... So, none of this matters.
Yeah, this is insane. Without repeating the specific language used, it is difficult to convey the vulgarity of the language used by defendant in the recorded videos.
Is it?
Really?
Is it? I've heard more vulgar stuff out of you on a random Tuesday than any. And I mean, come on. It's not that vulgar.
Vulgarity is not obscenity.
No,
vulgarity is fully within
protected.
The ambit of the First Amendment.
So what does it matter if you find it difficult to convey the vulgarity? It's protected. So sorry, you're kind of a wuss, whatever.
So here we go. He refers directly to plaintiff as though he is addressing her specifically in some of the videos, while he uses obscene slurs to describe her, sometimes angrily ending a rant with "fuck you," censored for this ruling. Who cares?
And
Can't
you're
say
not allowed
fuck
to
you,
say
guys.
fuck you anymore? You're not allowed to say that? Because I think the Supreme Court says you can.
This is insane. Defendant goes beyond verbal tirades to threaten to strike plaintiff through the phone, through a camera, or however he can get to plaintiff. How do you strike someone through a phone or through a camera?
It's impossible.
Or however he can get to
So
plaintiff.
it's obviously not, it's facetious.
But again, I can say I want to hit anybody on earth, and it's not threatening. It's threatening when I
Right.
tell that person I'm going to hit you.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
That's way different. So here we go. Another step beyond simple online statements is that in one video, defendant encourages viewers to impersonate plaintiff in order to find out whether plaintiff would be present at a particular horse show. No, not, I think at any horse shows.
It was a particular horse show.
Okay. Other video, which again, there's nothing illegal about doing this, and there's nothing harassing about doing this. I don't think people should. I don't think people should do that. But there's nothing harassing or illegal about it because he has no
Especially because she
idea.
wasn't there.
Also, he has no idea that that would ever get back to her. He has no way of knowing that that content or conduct would go to her.
Right.
Other videos involve imagined scenarios where defendant appears to fantasize about the sexual victimization of plaintiff. You're allowed to do this. You're allowed to sexually fantasize about people. I do it all the time. Mostly about myself.
Judge.
But like, what the fuck are we talking about? Oh my God, he's sexually fantasizing about someone. So what? Like, again, if he calls her and says, by the way, I had a sexual fantasy about you, and here, I'm going to explain it to you in detail. Okay, don't do that. But outside of that, so what? Like, you're not allowed to have a sexual fantasy or talk about it?
Again, how many times did Howard Stern describe in detail his sexual fantasies about guests on his show right there to their face?
How many times did people said, I want to fuck Sydney Sweeney, or you know, whoever is the beautiful actress du jour, right? Like, or actor. How many times have people said they want to have sex with Clayton Echard? I'll say it right now.
Afro Man needs to make a Lick 'em Low Laura song and video.
Defendant in one video, defendant describes his belief that should plaintiff go to prison, she'll be repeatedly sexually victimized and impregnated. So, this is crazy. This right here, his belief that, yeah, that's not a threat. In another, he indicates he is aware of plaintiff's out-of-state travel due to plaintiff's court proceedings. Okay. Yes. He suggests he could purchase a ticket near plaintiff seat on the plane on which plaintiff is traveling, and then she would let him join the Mile High Club. Again, so what? I don't recommend people say this because it's just kind of dumb. But so what? Oh, she'll let me have sex with her. Let him join the Mile High Club. That's not a threat, by the way. That's consensual.
Now that suggests consent.
Yes. The above are examples of the evidence presented and not intended to be all-inclusive. The language used in the videos is often crude, sexual, and violent. So, the sheer number of videos related to plaintiff is a factor in that it demonstrates defendant has a specific and targeted interest in plaintiff. This is not harassment. This is how this intense focus alone might not cross the line into harassment if the conduct was only online commentary. Actually, no, it definitely doesn't. Alone, it definitely doesn't. There's no number of times that you are allowed to talk to someone limit. That's wrong. Let's see. However, in the videos presented, defendant refers to plaintiff's specific living arrangement, i.e. the type of housing in which plaintiff resides. What? To her, like an apartment?
Listen, her house is totally public knowledge.
But
it has been on body cam footage. If he talks about the house of the casita, everybody talks about the casita. Everyone tells jokes about the casita where she lives. This is not new to him.
Right. To her appearance at specific horse shows, again, who cares? And her hospitalization for medical treatment. You have no privacy interest in attending a public event. There's none. Scalia has talked about that. U.S. v. Jones, 2012. He discusses on multiple occasions attempting to seek plaintiff out when he believes he knows where plaintiff might be, whether at a horse show, in court, or in the hospital. You have no privacy interest being out in public. Someone might encounter you at a stoplight or a stop sign or in the grocery store aisle or whatever. You don't have a privacy interest in it at all. Defendant's behavior might be argued to be online bravado from a keyboard warrior. I don't think that argument was made. I don't know where that came from. Who would knowingly call himself a keyboard warrior without dying in shame? I.e. a public that makes abusive or aggressive posts from a computer rather than in person in public. That's not what a keyboard warrior is at all. The judge just created a completely different definition for an idiomatic phrase. How dumb. However, defendant physically appears at all of plaintiff's court hearings and is admitted to attending at least one horse show in which plaintiff appeared. Again, who cares? The volume of videos, the crude and sexually violent language. She keeps saying this. This isn't a factor. Like, this is why it should have been appealed. And the angry and vulgar comments verbally directed at plaintiff are concerning. Defendant's encouragement to those listening to take steps to locate plaintiff. The fantasizing about ways to see plaintiff in person, including intimately, and the imagined sexual victimization of plaintiff are beyond what any reasonable person would consider reporting, as defendant argues. I don't think so at all, actually. But maybe I'm unreasonable. That's possible. Defendant argues that LaFaro versus Cahill supports his position that his conduct is not directed at plaintiff, but that case is distinguishable from the instant case. First, LaFaro versus Cahill involved political speech, which this case does not. Actually, it does. It does involve political speech. This case, his statements about her are about a matter of public concern, which is political, which is hashtag believe all women, Me Too, all that stuff.
Yep.
LaFaro versus Cahill being cited. Second, LaFaro did not involve the volume of conduct or posts to the internet. And that's crazy. To suggest that LaFaro versus Cahill would be different if they just did it a lot or online is absurd. LaFaro involves statements at an event at a library rather than events posted online, which are there to be watched and rewatched again and again. LaFaro could have been recorded by anybody. Like, anybody could have gone to that library, recorded it, and posted it and shared it with all their friends. Posting in the ways the defendant has, okay, about plaintiff in a violent and sexual manner, the repetitive nature of his conduct.
And really, there was only the one statement about the thing about the prison rape, possible prison rape. That was the only possible violence. And yet she keeps repeating this violent thing. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, it's nutty. Let's see. So the repetitive nature of his conduct and defendant's practice of physically appearing at a location, i.e. court, when he knows plaintiff will be there, causes plaintiff to feel alarm, per plaintiff's testimony. And what the court interpreted as fear during plaintiff's testimony, the court finds this to be reasonable given the language and behavior of defendant. That's not the standard. You don't find reasonableness based on the defendant's behavior. The reasonableness is a reasonable person objective standard. She misstates there the law about what reasonableness even is. There's the objective standard of reasonableness and then the subjective fear, which is the defendant's actual experience. Both are required here. This is a misstatement of the law. Again, should have been appealed. The court is not persuaded by defendant's argument that his conduct has a legitimate purpose due to public interest in plaintiff's criminal and civil cases. An allegation that someone has committed a crime does not open that person up to being terrorized by others. She testified that she wasn't terrorized by others. If one posts or curates a selection of 1,300 videos about another person, the poster must know that pushing that much content about a person out to the internet will likely one day come to the attention of the targeted person. No, this isn't how it works. It's not just it's not just know that it might get there at one point someday. It's about directing it there. It's about intending it to be received by them. In fact, it appears that thought has crossed defendant's mind. As noted before, he directs comments at plaintiff as though he is speaking to her, referring to her as you in more than one of the videos presented as evidence. That isn't actually directing commentary at someone. That's just a way of talking in the second person. For the reasons listed above, motion to quash is denied. Denying requested defendant be forbidden from appearing. They did deny the oral requested defendant being forbidden from appearing at plaintiff's court hearings. Rather than entirely excluding defendant from appearing to observe plaintiff's court proceedings, the defendant shall stay at least 10 yards away from the plaintiff if he chooses. Wait, most courtrooms don't have 10 yards in them. If she sits in the middle, he can't be in there. That's nutty. Plaintiff may submit an affidavit regarding plaintiff's reasonable attorney's fees and costs. Holy shit.
Yep. And he did. By the way, I forwarded you Ponytail's invoice. It's $31,000.
Yeah, I don't really want to bring it up. It's not really.
No, I just wanted you to look at it later because you'll get a kick out of it.
That's nuts. Well, there we go. We've made it through.
We did it.
We've made it through. I have a couple chats and stuff to read, but it's really late, and so I know you've been up a lot. I wanted to offer you the opportunity to.
I'm gonna go to bed. I am tired.
I get it.
But I enjoyed the nose, so. You should start. You should treat it like Jeff's potato pig dog cam and make people pay you to turn it on.
I was thinking about that. Well, because I've always, it's like, what do we do? Like, how do we get people to get to a certain amount of memberships per show or something? Like, maybe at X amount of memberships, turn it on, zoom in, or like you said, but we'll start zoomed out first.
Yeah, you
who knows?
Zoomed out and then zoom closer based on memberships.
It was fun. All I was doing was showing off this camera, but it's got some potential.
Kay Starler says, "Night, Megan. You've had a rough day fighting off the nose all night. Having that thing looming over me all night was terrifying. I'm probably not going to be able to sleep."
POV, you're a line of I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Very dangerous to be in there. But anyway, guys, this is Megan Fox. She's a journalist and not a lawyer. I did let her on the stream. But you should check out her channel, Megan Fox, not that one, on YouTube and on Rumble. And you should follow her content because she's pretty good stuff. And she's been following this case. I think most of you know that. She's been following it for a while. I'm happy to be following it now. And I'm going to torment Mark Randazza with this. I'm going to intentionally harass and torment Mark Randazza by showing him his client is pervasively opposed to the First Amendment. Yeah. I think that's funny.
All right. Good night, guys. Good night, Nick.
Good night. We'll see you soon. Yeah, leave the back room. Get out of here. Finally, it's just you, me, and this nasal atrocity. Switch. Oh my goodness. Even worse. Oh no. All right, let's do these chats. I think it's time. Whoops. Time to do those. Why is it doing that? Okay, here we go. So we got a super tip here.
Where is the cleavage cam? And I am not talking about Nick's titties.
You know what? I told Megan that we should do that, and she said, never in my life will I acquiesce to these perverted, disgusting people. I don't know why she talked about you guys that way. It was really rude. I mean, in my opinion. But hey, let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, that was the old one. Is this what? Where is my Rumble rant window? Did it stop keeping track of them? Beep 1984 says, "Holy freaking beak cam." Where do we have the? Oh, there we go. I found them. So thank you. And Digital Boone says, thanks for the unbreaded reading on the Jack show, by the way. Good times. Yes. Unbreaded sometimes shows up around here in member streams. So if you guys want to see unbreaded readings and maybe more unbreaded video, stuff like that, show up to the member show. Tell me about it. We can make some deals. Relatively Objective says, is the nose cam a supervising condition of parole? Yeah. Please, I need accountability just to make sure that everything's good. Oh, it got moved. It got moved. There we go. Yeah, we gotta keep it clean, y'all. Keep it clean. But Rosalind says, I really want to see that camera angle for court recaps. We'll see. We'll see. I do need, so I just have this thing on a tiny little, like on a little pedestal stand right now. But if I get it on like a mounted arm, it could be a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. But all right, guys, I think that's about it. I think that we're all caught up on everything. It's really late. It's a Saturday. Thank you guys for coming out. We will have a member show. Well, I'm planning on having a member show tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. And then this 11 o'clock time frame is hopefully becoming more consistently prevalent as things go on. The end of the school year is always kind of a mess, but tell your friends, tell your family, and make sure you guys have a great, great evening. I will see you all soon. And to that I say, peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes madder, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the T-post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. So pour out a glass for the T-post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law